Welcome, welcome, welcome everybody to yet another good old stream. It is very nice to see you. Thank you immediately very much to the Based Ginja. Very, very problematic name right there. And thank you very much to Red Armadillo. 3 months for one and 6 months for another. What beautiful, beautiful child soldiers. It is a beautiful Tuesday, and I will do my best to make it feel more like a Friday. We're starting very soon. I am having some problems with a little thing called the bladder. I'm going to piss, I'm going to drink some coffee, and we are getting the show on the beautiful, beautiful road. In the meantime, enjoy each other in chat. No touching. Thank you as well to Ronka 400 bits. No touching Lenin in the mausoleum. Well, imagine if other people's reproductive organs are always Lenin and do not touch them. Thank you, Kid Litcha, for the 20 bits. Thank you for the Hype Train level 2. And thank you, Nozo Queer, for the resub for 5 months. Thank you very kindly, beautiful. Starting very, very soon. Hello, everybody. How are we doing this fine morning, evening / afternoon? It is Tuesday, July 16th, between 4:36 and 7:36 in this beautiful, beautiful Balkan weather. Who needs Egypt? Who needs the Sahara deserts when you got good old climate change in the beautiful Balkanic Peninsula? Okay. It is fucking scorching outside. You cannot stand outside. You cannot live inside without a good old AC, which further proliferates said incredible climate change. It is very good to see all the OGs in chat. What's up, Good Lenin? What's up, Crucial? What's up, Kubashi? What's up, Dr. Slippy? Thank you very much, Connor, for the gifted sub as well. Very, very kind of you. We're already at Hype Train level 2, as we all know. If Hype Train ever reaches level 5, it turns into a massive comet that rams itself up Netanyahu's cute little disgusting butthole. There's a bird staring at me right in the eyes, right behind the screen where you guys are at. But anyways, today's been a good day. I've gotten part of the script for the deprogram, which I'm going to be recording in 5 hours, pretty much ready for my segment, even though, the show is very much so not scripted. There are parts of it that you got to pre-prepare, especially when it's theory and so on, or history. Today I went to the gym. I went to buy my dad a birthday gift. He's turning, 54 or 55? His birthday is in a couple of days. I'm not gonna spoil that much for you. But yeah, I need to remind myself what exact year he's turning. I'm not sure. Today we're rocking the good old tracksuit, baby. The good old tracksuit in the trackie. We in the trackie, okay? Very comfortable, very convenient. Thank you, Kid Leitzel, for the 25 bits. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes. Yeah, I got him, he's a big cigar guy, so I got him a very fancy lighter that if you use it for long enough, it starts changing colors, right? It starts changing colors, so I think he'll like it. It's a nice little gimmick for his old ass, right? Okay. What else? I ate McDonald's. After the gym. Talk about a hypocritical little dog. A communist eating McDonald's. Talk about what is the opposite of champagne socialist? Talk about a fast food socialist, man. As we all know, in communism, we will only have food that takes incredible amounts of hours to produce. Fast food is absolutely forbidden in good old communismus. You have the Slav drip, but can you go do the proper heels on the ground squat, the Slav squat rule? Heels in the sky is Western spy. That is an absolute classic, but I will not let you see my toes that fucking easy. Thermochromic. What the fuck does thermochromic mean, Yanagibashi? Go up in the core, pretty much. Big Mac socialist. There you go. That's a good one. Big Mac socialist. Or I don't think you should LARP on the socialist aspect of it, but me with my anti-Americanism, you should harp on me being a massive hypocrite for really liking American music, American clothes, certain American brands, or American food, right? That's what you should harp on me. It's too easy, communist, but iPhone. That's why I bought Samsung, right? I'm kidding. But no, it's too, communist, but iPhone is too easy. Anti-American, but iPhone. Now, that's where you get them. Okay? Because there are other options realistically available, and yet you consume the American one and you hate on America. That is where you can really hit me deep in the heart, make me feel extremely problematic and hypocritical. Thermochromic means it changes color with the heat, I think. Okay. It's called thermochromic. Okay, Yana Gibashi, why are you so smart? Go back to your shed. I do not allow people smarter than me to talk to me in chat. Understood? Thank you, Ramka, for the 100 bits. Yugo is Gorbachevite revision is confirmed. The next day you will say you ate at Pizza Hut. No, Pizza Hut is the only one that is eternally forbidden for my ass because, it's Pizza Hut. The literal exclusive reason for why the Soviet Union fell back in the day. Anyways, today is going to be a pretty chill day. Maybe we'll game a bit later. I'm not sure. I'm not being very successful in setting up my my stream setup, right? But we're definitely going to continue talking about the Trump assassination. I want to learn more about who the actual fuck this guy he has a VP is. Apparently he has like a brown wife, but he's also like, Mexicans, get the fuck out of my country, brother. And I would love to learn a bit more about him. If you have any nice links to send my way about certain things he said throughout the years, I will not be rejecting them. As always, I have a nice little playlist ready for you, boys, gals, and NBs that we are actually going to be going through, called the Streaming Suggestion. If you ever want to contribute to what we watch here on the show, it's a very audience-friendly experience. I do encourage you to write !Discord and join that degenerate community of mine, where there is a segment where you can actually refer what you would like me to watch, and so on and so on. JP Vance, more like JT Vance, you know, JT from Second Thought, actual VP. But yeah, we're gonna talk about the different conspiracies revolving around the Trump assassination, different memes that have spawned out of it. We can actually start with. We didn't have the Trump speech yesterday, right? We didn't really have the Trump speech. We had Trump walking out on the RNC, being a bit, like tearing up a bit, feeling like the rebirth of the original American God Emperor, so known as Hulk Hogan. His dream of being the main character in a WWE sketch has come true for all of America. Is actually a WWE sketch. If you have not heard, it's all a reality TV show. That's why it looks and feels just so weird, unnatural, and kind of plays like a sketch. It kind of plays like a sketch, and the plot twist that it has always just been a WWE production. Anyways, okay, I think it would be a nice place to start with Tucker Carlson speech on it. Tucker Carlson is a perfect example of what the higher echelons of the right wing of the American establishment, because as we all know, there is no such thing as no right wing in the American establishment, for discussion of class is the ultimate American political taboo. So, by gazing at what our good old boy Tucker Carlsonito says on these topics, who was actually present and one of the first people that whose hands Biden shook on the RNC, let's hear his speech about this. Apparently, it happened very soon after the assassination attempt. So yeah, let's go. Hugo, why is everyone still saying he was shot? It seems pretty obvious he wasn't. Is mainstream media just trying to crown Trump for ratings at this point? I mean, they are trying to crown him for ratings, but he was hit in the ear. We all saw the ear. The AR bullet would have ripped his ear off even if it didn't touch him. I don't know. It's hard to care about American elections when either party will still bomb brown people in the Middle East regardless. I agree completely. That is why you must assume the role, you must give the role of entertainment to American politics. And that is what we will be engaging in today. Entertainment with a bit of class-conscious ranting about how they're basically all different shades of the same brown. And by brown, I do not only mean fascist, I also mean poop. I call your political establishment poop. Touche! I have owned thee. I have painted thee as a Wojak, and thee shall suck now. Thee shall also suck in exactly 1 minute as you globble the noble of international capitalism, also known as advertising. If you would not like not to gobble on the noble of international capitalism, you can gobble on the noble of Yugopnik's subscription count. Make that subscription count get so erect it gets to 1,000 for $5 a month, or for free through Prime, or by gifting to somebody less privileged than you. Yeah, we'll play in 40 seconds. The choice is yours. Do you make my sub count erect, or do you make capitalism's dick up your ass erect? The choice is yours. Okay, now, our good old boy, this is some intro bullshit. We do not care. The Tucker Carlson, blah, blah, blah. I said this is going to happen, blah, blah, blah. Like as if that's saying that the president will eventually have an attempt on his life is like a hot take of hot takes. Like, oh my God. I can't believe you said that, bruv. I can't believe you said that. Okay. So, Tucker Carlson on Trump shooting. Let's see what our favorite reactionary has to say. Oh, rock and roll coming on stage here, brother.
Welcome our great friend and please join me in welcoming our great friend and a great doctor of truth, Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother. Great doctor of truth, brother. Let's fucking go on stage, brothers and sisters. Let us welcome our doctor of truth, Zeke Heil. Oh, wait, that's the different conference. Shit. Don't Zeke Heil on this one. Thank you very much. Salt Rod Pepsi. Salt Rod Pepsi. Salt Lord Pepsi for the sub with Prime. Doctor of Truth, just like Trotsky. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's kind of a semi-fan of Trotsky. It's a very weird relationship. But he's an ultra fan of Romka is Russian, of your what do you call it, of the whites. He's a very, very big fan.
Thank you. I don't even know where I am. I just landed.
Tucker isn't welcome to the CIA. CARLSON, baby. Okay. Can I ask, is this a pro-Stalin channel? As of the top 5 recommendations Twitch has offered today, the calling for gulags is pretty tiring. Well, the only people that will be sent to gulags is people who ask me if this is a pro-gulag channel. Okay, it is a snake which eats its own ass. It is crazy. Okay.
Just landed and.
How the fuck did Twitch is not recommending my channel right now? I really doubt that. If it is, then the 220 views aren't really fucking splashing me here.
And it took me an hour and a half to get here. There's a lot of security. All the security guys look like they should have been in Butler, PA on Saturday. They definitely brought the real ones out this time, thank heaven. Thank you for having me. I am thrilled to be here. I didn't want to come to this convention. Now I'm really grateful that I did. And I spent the whole day dealing with politics this day, starting at 5 a.m., and I forgot how repulsive a process it is. And how feline and ruthless.
There you go. He actually understands me. This is the fellow streamer Tucker Carlson supports fellow streamer Hasanabi in stating that streaming is actually the most difficult job in the world. Imagine talking about politics all day. Imagine talking about politics for like more than 10 minutes. Imagine thinking. Imagine thinking about politics. Imagine being. Imagine existing. Imagine being in time and space as an individual who can understand that they are located inside of time and space. Very, very, very deep, astute conversations we're having here, okay?
The players are. It was a reminder why I don't like politicians. I never deal with politicians. I deal with people who believe in things, and some I agree with, and some I...
Hey, can I get your opinion on anarchism? I like anarchists. I used to be an anarchist. I like anarchists, but am no longer an anarchist. That's my opinion. My opinion on anarchism is I really hope they're right. That's my opinion on anarchism. Because everything would go so much better. If they're correct, everything much easier. I hope they're correct. I don't think they are. I hope they're correct.
I don't agree with, but they're all basically sincere. Even the wackos on the other side are generally sincere. They really mean it. And I kind of get that. And because I think I'm pretty, I may be wrong, I certainly have been, but I mean it. But you deal with political people and they don't mean it. All they mean is they want power. That's it. And there's been a lot of jockeying because there are a couple big jobs, well, one big job, which was just awarded. And it's crazy to watch politicians around power. So there's this job, one person makes the decision, and whoever gets the job immediately has a lot of power. And it really is like waving a flank state over an alligator. They're just jumping up and snapping in the air. But they're not doing it in a straightforward way. I mean, I've always wondered, I spent 35 years in Washington, and there are politicians I liked, but...
Is it Zin time? We're watching Tucker, and we're popping Zins. Our Zin daddy has inspired us to pop some, okay? He's really into Zins. You know, Tucker Carlson once said that taking Zins makes his dick really hard. I'm not kidding. Google Tucker Carlson Zin dick really hard. I hope you don't get, like, Rule 34 shit. Actually, that's a good question. Is there Rule 34 Tucker Carlson shit? I wonder. Like, That would be pretty. Well, go in, bitch. Okay, there we go. That would be pretty wild. I wonder if they draw him as a alpha or a sub. Even though we all know that subs are the real alphas deep down, but yeah, brother, I love jerking off to some Tucker Carlson hentai, brother. Some real good white porn, brother. But anyways, yeah, Tucker Carlson being amazed that power corrupts. One of the biggest cliches that you learn in like fucking second grade history courses.
I just couldn't help but notice that every single one of them had a weird personal life. Almost every single one. Not all, but most of them. Something they were hiding. They were secretly gay or they were into drugs.
He's a sub for Putin for real, long. He's actually not. Like, watch my Tucker Carlson video. He probably thinks that Putin is a fucking imbecile. But he only thinks that Russia and the U.S. should align because the long-term enemy that the U.S. should concentrate on is China. And the USA should have as many potential allies as it can in its imperial struggle against China. So he just sees the Russians and Americans having more in common than Americans and Chinese ever can because of the systematic difference, right? Because he believes that, China does not engage in classic capitalist free market economics. Well, he believes Russia does. Also, he thinks that they're culturally more similar because, he considers America a Christian country. Probably the whiteness of Slavs helps, etc., etc. But yeah, he's not snobbling on Putin cock. He's snobbling on long-term American foreign policy because this guy wants to be president, and this guy will run for president. 1 billion%. 1 billion%, okay? Thank you very much, Rock, for resubbing for 6 months. Thank you very kindly, my friend. Thank you.
Drugs or alcoholic or they're cheating on their wife or whatever. And I thought, this secretly personal life. Almost every single one. Not all, but most of them. Something they were hiding. They were secretly gay or they were into drugs or alcoholic or they're cheating on their wife or whatever. And I thought,
wait, I'm all of those things except cheating on my wife, brother. Yeah!
This is not a random sample of the population. Like, my neighbors aren't living like this. Why is all of the U.S. Congress? And I'm not being mean. I know it sounds like something you say just to be nasty about a group you don't like, but I'm being sincere. Why is that? Why are so many politicians living lies? And it's because that's who they are. I mean, deception is at the core, actually, of who they are. And when you watch them pursue power, it comes right out. Rather than just saying, I think we should do this because here's the outcome. And I think we should avoid that because there's the disaster that will result. It's always, if you do this, I'll give you something secret. It's like the most disgusting thing I've ever seen, and I haven't been around it in a while, and I just watched it.
Yeah, because they are, this is an astute analysis. This is absolutely correct, because most mainstream members of the political establishment are not there because of grander ideals or goals or because they want to mold the world into... they're not great visionaries. They want to mold the world into a horrible or great vision that they have for it. They are professional career politicians that want to, know shit before it happens so that they can trade the stock, etc., etc. And this is again, but he will not go insofar as to state that this is another aspect of capitalist moral degeneracy, right? It eventually leads to the commodification of everything. And it eventually leads to the commodification of leadership, where people do not perceive, hey, I will get to be a politician. I will get to be a leader of a community, and that should be a reward in on itself. Me changing my community, or the broader community, if I'm lucky enough, towards a direction that I believe is just and right, that is commodified out of existence, because you do not compute with it anymore, because the only thing you compute with is profitability, because that's the only thing you define as success. It is literally just profitability is like hard coke, okay? Hard fucking coke. And after you tried really good Colombian shit, beers are just, Even though beer is probably better, long-term, etc., 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 and probably you'll feel happier drinking beer in the long term and so on, which in this case is an allegory for, leadership for leadership's sake. You're on Coke now, bro. There's no going back to beer, okay? You're on that sniffy of the profit motive, baby. You want profit right in your veins, baby, okay? The greatest narcotic ever created by our species. And the dealer isn't even a human. The dealer is the economic model. It is the market. It is a soulless code that simply pushes us like little chess pieces, intentionally or not. Okay? And that, of course, going back to what we're talking about here, goes back to leadership as well. People are no longer in for, like, ironically, they're like, they don't see the bigger picture even from an incredibly selfish perspective. Like, back in the day, if they would have just been selfish, they want power for the sake of power. I get to be king. I will have a statue after I die. I will have been known for having conquered this and this territory for France. Right? Now it's I go in, I make some cash, I go out. Look at Obama, best friends with billionaires right now, fucking, playing around with that Virgin Airlines guy. Like, stupid example, but you get my point. There's no vision. Even the most corrupted among us no longer have greater vision of the damage they can do because they're so tunneled up by the profit motive. So yeah, people don't get into politics anymore because they want to change something. At least not the majority. They get into it because it is a easy stepping stone towards potential higher positions in the hierarchy of capital.
Close over the last 24 hours, and I thought, man, I'm glad I'm not around this very often. However, it's worth making yourself see it, and in some cases go through the process because it actually matters. I guess that's the other thing that I learned. So now J.D. Vance is the VP pick, and I think every person who pays close attention has got to be thrilled by that.
And that's why, to an extent, again, I harp on Tucker very often, but that's why he's dangerous, because this guy believes what he says. He's got fucking money. He's got all of that shit. This guy believes what he says. He wants his fucking kids to remain at the top echelons of American society forever. And he will make sure capitalism continues so that his kids can enjoy the privileges he is enjoying. That is this man's ideology. It is not simple money, 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 money. I know it's taboo, but he is not. That makes him a much more dangerous enemy than fucking, I don't know, Nancy Pelosi.
And if you don't know much about J.D. Vance, I'm not even going to make a case for J.D. Vance. I'm going to tell you what I just saw, which is that every bad person I've ever met in a lifetime in Washington was aligned against J.D. Vance. And I do think the negative case is often more powerful because I know of myself, I do not think I'm a particularly good person. I have strong reasons for feeling that way. I don't always think that my side is right. I know for a fact I have been wrong many, many times. And I hope to correct and be honest about my error. So it's not like I think that, I'm always, God's always on my side. Sometimes I'm not on God's side. But I definitely know who's representing the other side. It's a lot easier to tell who the people who are only in it because they like, I don't know, killing other people in pointless wars. Like, I know who those people are. And their odor is so powerful that I can smell one when he walks in the room. And every single one of those people in a line that would extend from Milwaukee to Chicago was lined up over the last week to knife J.D. Vance. Not on personal grounds. I mean, he's a perfectly nice guy. He's like one of the only members of the Senate with a happy marriage. True. But because they thought he would be harder to manipulate and slightly less enthusiastic about killing people. That's it. That he would be an impediment to their exercising power. And boy, they went after him in a way I've just kind of never seen. Which I think happens every day in Washington. I just don't have a vantage on it because I'm far.
Yannick Gibash, he's giving a speech, but it sounds like he's debating someone in his head. That's the classic Republican approach always. Stand in front of an audience, create a boogeyman, tell them what the boogeyman is, and then argue with the boogeyman even though he's not in the room with you. Classics. And here he's referring to one thing I know about J.D. Vance is that he's hardcore against supporting Ukraine. Hence, you know, I don't want people dying, etc., etc. Jesus Christ.
Far away and grateful to be. And again, I was just reminded that this process is so ugly that normal people do not want to participate in it, and yet normal people have to suck it up and do so anyway because the consequences are just so profound and so very serious. That's the first thing I was reminded of. And the second thing I was reminded of...
Yeah, pointless wars, but backs Israel. Yeah, we don't talk about Israel. We don't talk about Israel, baby.
And I've been thinking about this for the last 15 months since I spoke at Heritage's 50th anniversary, which was the beginning of a total change in the way that I see the world, is that this is not ultimately political. This is much deeper. And I think what happened on Saturday, the assassination attempt against President Trump, reminded a lot of people this, or awakened a lot of people to this. There is a spiritual battle underway. There is no logical way to understand what we're seeing now in temporal terms. You just can't. These are not political divides. There are forces, and they're very obvious now, they've decided for whatever reason to take off the mask, whose only goal is chaos, violence, destruction. And
there you go. The boogeyman is in the room with you. And this is an interesting approach. This is an interesting approach. He's trying to build a as broad as possible base by just saying the bad guys are just evil. They're just evil. He's not even going the full communist, Black Lives Matter, they want to turn your Dugin shit, turn your kids trans, and one day your kids are going to want to be aliens shit. He's just like, this is a battle between good and evil. Good and evil are concepts you should believe in. They're not subjective connotations based on the perspective you come from, which you have built on, which you have built from the culture that you existed in, which in itself has been built on a platform of different material conditions throughout the ages, etc., what a Marxist would say. He is just saying good and evil exist, and we're fighting evil, which resonates with the majority of any country's electorate, because let's be honest here, we shouldn't say it as communists, but we often think it. The majority of people are fucking imbeciles, okay? Thank you, Ramka, for 100 bits. Spiritual battle shit is Dugin theory. There you go. Tucker is everything wrong with America personified. Rad libs will tell you long tales about the Soviet nomenclatura, but will tell you it's normal for politicians to own stocks. Not to mention that said stocks are the military-industrial complex. Exactly. I agree.
And there are the rest of us who, once again, are not always certain we're right, but we know that that's bad, and we're against that. Sort of standing watching, thinking, is someone going to explain to me why this is politics? This is not politics at all. This is much deeper and older and more recognizable than that. This has been going on since the beginning of time. And I do think, by the way, that the more literal among us, and I would count myself in that category, fail to see this because we're so desperate to ascribe some kind of...
I just did something really stupid, I have to admit. My Zin was still inside, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm overcooking on this Zin. I was really overcooking. That was why I was going to spit all the time. And I was like, why am I overcooking so much? I'm really overcooking. The nick is hitting hard. It's because it was still inside my mouth. Jesus, damn it.
Recognize the more literal among us, and I would count myself in that category, fail to see this because we're so desperate to ascribe some kind of recognizable human motive to what we're seeing. So we call it leftism or neoliberalism or communism or
I have not pre-watched. Exactly. There you go. He's going fully with the direction just bad and good. Bad versus good. Bad versus good, but remember, we are good. We are good. We will not explain why we are good, but just trust me on this, we are good. Because the other guy's bad. Whole point.
Phrase to describe it, but those phrases are inadequate. They do not describe what's actually happening. So what you're seeing now is really not at all different in substance from what you saw in 1789 in France, from what you saw in 1936 in Spain, from what you saw in 1917 in Russia, from what you saw in 1975 in Phnom Penh. It's all the same. These are forces of chaos and destruction which are fundamentally anti-human, which are against people. By the way, explain that for a second. What kind
please.
of movement could be against people? There are all
Please,
sorts of
what does
movements
that
that are
mean?
against people now.
These are non-words. These are just non-words. Non-words. Now he's gonna throw transhumanism. There we go. This is Romka. This is very, very, very Dugin. This is very fucking Dugin. This is very Dugin. This is very, 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 very Dugin.
For a second. What kind of movement could be against people? There are all sorts of movements that are against people now. Transhumanism, AI is inherently anti-people. The climate cult is...
Do you think Tucker Carlson is honest about the promotion of Russian nationalism, fascism, or is he trying to just gain some relevancy? I don't know if you were here previously. He wants the U.S. and Russia to enter an alliance because he believes that China is the long-term bigger problem. That's the whole shtick.
It's inherently anti-people. Explain that rationally.
If you watch my video on Tucker Carlson, he literally says it. Like, he says it. He says exactly why he's pro-Russian. You talked to Dugin just 2 months ago. I'm not surprised. Climate cultists and progressist agenda.
If your view of the world is, as mine was, derived by an understanding of evolutionary biology. All of us have been raised to see the world through the lens of evolutionary biology. The species does what it does because it's acting in its own interest. And its own interest is to procreate, to pass on its genes, to continue. And so you tell me what we're looking at if the defining movements of our time are against carrying on our genes, procreating, continuing. Is that human? Well, no. Is there any other animal species that kills itself? No. Is genocide known in the natural world? No, it doesn't even make sense. Dogs don't.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me talk to the guy in the room, but it's actually a guy on the screen. Genocide is happening because of a little thing known as imperialism, and imperialism is happening because of a little known thing known as capitalism. Lower rates of procreation are happening because people cannot afford to fucking have children. Okay. Because of what? Because of faltering rates of profit, which is, again, capitalism. But instead of looking at material conditions, as every classic reactionary does, they create another boogeyman, and now he's just, harping about meaningless terminology as if there's guys in laboratories creating three-legged, four-armed humans called transhumanism, okay?
Don't commit genocide against other dogs, maybe against rabbits. That's because they're hungry. But no animal decides to eliminate itself because it's unnatural, so it doesn't happen. No animal commits suicide. That's not found in nature, okay? That's something outside of nature. That's supernatural. And that's what we're seeing, but it's also what we've seen again and again and again throughout history. There are forces within every society, because they reside in the human heart, that are against people. They are dedicated to the destruction of people and the civilizations that people built. And if you pay any attention at all to history, you will recognize it. It's like, wait a second, people are saying exactly the same things. The climate people, the AI people, the transhumanist people, the Biden administration, they're saying exactly the same kinds of things, the same themes that every other movement of this kind, and they had a million different names for them throughout history, were also saying. That's the first thing I noticed. The second thing I noticed is, what do all of these movements over the past 2,000 years have in common? Who do they hate most? As you can tell by what I said about J.D. Vance, I think you learn very much by taking a look at who's mad at whom and about what. So if there's something that threatens you, pay close attention to what makes them angriest. It's certainly true in my business, which is the speech business. What are they trying to get you not to say? What are they punishing you for saying? Those are likely to be the truest things. Not the falsest things. It's not misinformation. It's not disinformation. It's truth. That's why you hate it, obviously.
Okay, we hate flat earthers because it's actually the truth. We hate pro-lifers because it's untrue that a woman's right to bodily autonomy is more important than a bag of cells. Again, meaningless words, but it's very interesting caveat, I guess, that he's reintroducing, where he's not arguing through any quote-unquote political lens, just from the lens of there is something deep inside of anti-human humans who just want to destroy humanity. And those movements recreate themselves throughout history, and it is on us to stop them from doing these evil things that, like, he again proceeds not to explain what exactly they are. He just titles them, evil and anti-human. Okay? But that, again, gives you the context of anything that is introducing change to the status quo is de facto anti-human. For it does not want us to continue living as what is defined as normal currently, right? So all like evolution in societal understanding of concepts is evil because it is anti-human. Why? Of course, he's not going to say, okay?
Obviously. It's obvious now. It took me about 10 years to figure this out. I'm not a super genius. But what group do they dislike most? What group are they absolutely terrified of and hoping to eliminate? Well, it's Christians. That's who it is.
What the? Woo! Yeah, okay. And this chat, this is better defining who we are versus who they are, okay? When you're pitching a hyper hierarchical structure, blah blah blah. Okay, let me not bore you with the theoretical terms. When you want to create a new enemy so that people don't look at why their material conditions are bad, aka if you don't want people to be criticizing systems and instead hyper-focusing on a fictitious enemy against which we all must unite, you need to say what is being attacked, what is the thing that they're trying to take away from us. And here he's throwing a very wide net, an incredibly wide net. So not hyper-focusing on race, not hyper-focusing on ethnicity, not hyper-focusing necessarily to national cultures. He's just saying Christians. Okay? Which, for the vast majority of the U.S., watching this, they can identify with. Okay?
It's Christians. And I'm saying this is not a particularly fervent life.
Because you can't do the white thing, you can't do the Jew thing, you can't do the ethnic thing, because again, in the mainstream it's a dead concept, right? It's too taboo. But Christian is just perfect. It's just right. It's just right.
Lifelong Christian. I am a Christian, but I haven't spent my life, surrounded by plumes of incense deep in prayer. I spent my life in a newsroom saying the F word. I mean, I'm not sort of a pious person at all. But I try to be a noticer since I'm paid to do that. And the group that makes them angriest, triggers them most, I guess we would say now, is Christians. Christian nationalism. People pray outside abortion clinics. People who celebrate Easter and not Trans Visibility Day. These are the real enemies.
There you go. There, the catch, the hook. Thank you, Ronka, for 100 bits. The working class is united behind Chief Anti-Fascist Tucker to lead the great empire of freedom and democracy and special magic operation of Israel.
But that's been true in every revolution in the past 2,000 years. It was true during the Cultural Revolution. There weren't many Christians in China. They were the first to be killed. It was true in the French Revolution. They beheaded nuns. What did the nuns do? Were the nuns really an impediment to progress? No, the nuns existed. And they pledged a higher fealty to Jesus. And that was their crime, and for that they were killed. It was true in the beginning of the Spanish Civil War. The communist side, which wasn't really communist at all, it was anti-Christian. Who's the first person they executed? Well, it wasn't a person at all. It was a statue of Jesus. And they opened fire on it with a firing squad. In a picture that when I was
yeah, brother, they try to shoot my Jesus. You must defend my Jesus from the goddamn anti-Christians, brothers. Thank you, Josh, for the 100 bits. Your brother in chat. I hope you're doing well. When you are here, we always are, brother.
Child was famous. It's now probably forgotten in history. Probably still available on Google as of this afternoon. You should look it up. But if you find yourself firing bullets at a statue, what you're really doing is revealing your deepest priority. And that's to kill Christians. And why? Well, I can't fully answer that question because I am hardly a theologian, but I do think it tells you everything. I think The most obvious reason is anybody who pledges a higher loyalty than to the people in charge who believe themselves to be gods is a threat. But I think it's more than that, because it's not every religion, actually. There are a lot of religions. I respect them all. By the way, I'm just a believer in faithfulness and acknowledging that you're not God. I'm probably the only right-winger in the world who's not bothered when I see Muslims praying 5 times a day. Amen. Anyone who acknowledges he's not God 5 times a day is not my enemy. That's how I personally feel. But it's not my religion.
There you go, wide net.
But it's actually not Islam or any other religion that makes these leaders angry. It's Christianity, it's the religion of Jesus that makes them angry. And that suggests that maybe there is something a little deeper going on here. It's not just that they're in the way. Christians are hardly in the way. They're the most peaceable people there are. They worship a God who tells them not to hurt other people, to turn the other cheek, to pray for their persecutors. So it's not like they're disruptive. They're the opposite of disruptive, and yet they are the enemy.
As we all know, all communists, all revolutionaries, all people who want the status quo to just change a little bit, all people who just, I don't know, want a bit of fucking healthcare, people who want bodily autonomy, etc., etc. That is... our prime ideology is Jesus bad, Christians bad, shoot all Christians. We all know this, right? That's like, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, the fucking Christians, man. Jesus fucking Christ. The fucking Christians, dude. Jesus, the famous never would be a socialist guy. That's my main enemy.
So you should know this, I think. I don't know if there are any Christians here or people who are, interested in continuing to live in the country you grew up in, but these are the terms and these are the stakes. They are not the ones that we've been told they are, left versus right, Republican versus Democrat. I learned that the hard way in the last couple of days, watching the leaders of the Republican Party.
Thank you, Thinking Cat. To the 10 commandments, it's a crime to make statues of God. Tucker is talking nonsense from the evangelism arm of America, far-right anti-Christianity, the pro-money, hate the poor, satanic Christianity. Yeah, absolutely, you don't even need to go that deep. If the greatest enemy of theology in the modern era is the only God who has replaced all of them. In the grand scale of things, all of them. From Tokyo to LA. And that is money. That is greed. That is capital. That is profit. That is accumulation. The self above all others. If you want to preserve theological beliefs in something greater than man, then maybe start talking about that in particular. But no. We like our mega churches, okay? Thank you, Romka, for the 100 bits. Friedrich Ilyich Stalin specifically said that we need to kill all Christians in 1917. Yes, exactly.
Not all the leaders, but a lot of them, some of the most powerful and richest people in the party, reveal who they really are. And it made me think that for the purposes of this election, I mean, let's be honest, Trump just won. He won. Not only did he survive an assassination attempt, he stood up without knowing whether there were other shooters there. He stood up and faced the crowd and raised his hand and said, "Fight, fight, fight." That's it.
Yeah, brother. Yeehaw, brother.
Win. And by the way, I happen to notice that the crowd, which also didn't know whether there were other shooters, who watched Trump get shot in the face, they did not bolt. It wasn't like
the famous traditionalist, old school Christian Donald Trump. The famous grab him by the pussy, incredible Christian. Yeah. The famous money, fucking, I have 100 children. Trump, absolutely. Yeah, the pinnacle of, ironically, the pinnacle of the American definition of what it is to be a Christian, which is to simply say you are one, and yet only and exclusively pray at the altar of Capitol. That.
Like a fire in a theater, actually. They sat there, they watched him intently, and when he stood up, they applauded him, and many cried. Why is that? Because a brave leader gives his people heart. That's why. That's exactly why. So with that, Trump became president. I bet my house on it. And he defeated the Democrats. And on merit, by the way. Not through the usual political scheming, I'll trade you a Senate seat for your vote. No. He did it by being a man in a nation of people who weren't quite, just being honest, okay? He acted like a man, the kind of man I respect, and I think every person feels this way, every person, no matter what you think of Trump. Because leadership isn't actually all about, the way you talk. It's about how brave you are. That's what people want. They want a brave leader. So he won 4 months before the actual election. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't have enemies. And the truth, and no one wants to say it, but it is true, a lot of the enemies are people who claim to be his friends in the political party that I voted for my entire life. And they seek to subvert him. And they seek to channel the energy into a super dark direction. And above all, I'm just telling you, this is the last thing I'll say, and I'm sure this is like very upsetting to everybody, but it's just, I just saw it. What do they care about? What do you want to know what they care about? They only care about war, that's it. That's what they care about. They don't care about immigration, obviously, at all. Our country's being colonized by the rest of the world, no problem. They don't care about the economy. They're insulated from it. They don't care. And they certainly don't care that Trump has a naughty mouth.
Yeah, and you don't care that the majority of the colonizers are also Christian, even though Christianity is everything you say you care about. These are, why do I even have to say this? Chat, you know this, okay? You know this.
Said something, untoward off camera, they could care less. These are filthy people, right? Yeah, they're offended. No, they care about war. They want the power to kill. That's it. And that's the power, of course, everyone who wants to be God seeks to possess. That's why human sacrifice was the thing. I have the power to kill. Only God has the power over life and death. And that's the power they want. And Trump has stood in their way. Imperfectly. But Trump's the only president, since Jimmy Carter, most of my life, who hasn't committed us to a brand new war. That's what they hate about him. And that's what they were trying to change over the last couple of days. I saw it. That's all they cared about. And they lied about it, of course, and said all kinds of things are like insane and totally untrue. But that was the motivator right there. And when Trump came out in 2016 and said the Iraq war was a mistake, which was very obvious to those of us who were in Iraq while it was going on, it was like news to nobody. It was shocking in Washington, and that was the point at which they sicked the FBI on him. They started bugging him. They decided we cannot have this guy because he was trying to limit their most important of all power.
But okay, this would be decent rhetoric if it was 2016. But my man, he became president. He was president for 4 years, and he changed absolutely nothing when it comes to American foreign or domestic policy. He did not protect Christians. He did not stop wars. He did not call for a more human government where we all respect each other instead of constantly pursuing self-gratification through endless conflict, etc., everything that he's pitching. But Trump didn't do that. He didn't do that. So the pitch doesn't make any sense because we've seen that that's not what Trump cares about. Trump cares about, quite literally, he's the definition of a politician who wants power for the sake of power. Maybe now the assassination attempt might have switched that a bit. It might have encouraged more radical political thought. It might no longer be exclusively only for his own interest, but there might be something else at play there as well. Sure. But at the end of the day, it's a political movement and a political ideology that does not propose any real significant change whatsoever. It's just the continuation of the status quo. But in a way, in Tucker's proposition that it is the Christian who wants to defend everything, he is, to an extent, saying that the way things are now, or used to be at least, is we lived in a country ruled by the Christian idea of what it is to be a country. But the other ones want to come and change this idea that we are a de facto Christian country. And that is where the more right-wing attempt kind of simmers through the words. Thank you, Ronko, for the 100 bits. Trump maybe didn't do Iraq war, but escalated with Iran to an unprecedented degree. Yeah, you don't even have to say it. Like, it's this obvious.
Which is to hurt other people. And so you should just know this. That's what the stakes are. I think he's going to win. I think it's going to be really important to rolling back some of this insanity. But, there are a lot of people who have other agendas, and you should just be aware of that. Thank you so much for letting me spoil your afternoon with that stuff.
Thank you very much, Tucker, for saying absolutely nothing. Okay? Maybe he can be an insight. What we can learn from this speech is the insight of the wider net that the future Republican Party will be casting, which is not going to be as which we've seen as racialized or as ethnic based, but much more on Christianity as the true way of American life, right? And the second thing we can learn is that they will maybe no longer talk about the so-called enemy with specific political terminology, but instead will be proposing a black and white world where there's just evil and good, and the evils are out there trying to get you, brother. But you got to be one of the good ones, brother, and defend yourself against the evil ones, brother. That's pretty much it.
Tucker, thanks for being here. Thanks for speaking the truth. And obviously, we have a lot that we can cover in a short amount of time. But let's start with a homework assignment.
Yes.
Based on what you just said, things have changed since Saturday. A lot of Americans in the center, and maybe even some Americans on the center left, saw that near tragedy, that near assassination of President Trump, and they realized, oh, maybe I've not quite figured out what's been going on. A lot of us have been in that category. You've talked about that yourself. We at Heritage have said that. What do you advise the people who are in this auditorium and also the people online to do with members of
the Thinking Saber Cat? Actually, Trump is the closest to Obama as the people putting hopes on the person, but they don't achieve 95% of what people expect. Really, the only difference is the masses pretty much realized by 2011 that Obama wasn't what they wanted him to be, but the Trump fans literally just lie, claiming he achieved things with no evidence. Yes, and again, the American system, the American neoliberal capitalist system is too strong. It is a self-replicating status quo. It is an animal that will run the fields no matter who the farmer is. Okay? The only politician you can rightfully claim is actually trying to change things for the better is the guy who addresses the animal that is running amok in the farm of the United States. And that animal is unbridled, insane fucking capitalism and the market running absolutely everything. Okay? Unless somebody is touching the fucking class dichotomy, no matter how socially radical their rhetoric might be, no matter how much they might even believe. Let's imagine that Obama wanted to change things. Let's imagine that Trump wants to change. Let's imagine he's just a witty, funny guy. He's just an edgy guy, but he actually really wants like good shit for America. Let's imagine. Even in that case, who the fuck cares? Because he's not fast enough. Not because he's not fast. Because he doesn't say that the problem is the animal running amok, the market, the system. And therefore, even with the best intentions, which obviously are not there, but if we imagine them being there, he would still not be able to change anything. Because he doesn't see the goddamn problem.
Their family, friends, neighbor who still don't get it. What's the advice that you give us in having those conversations to bring them into this movement that Trump has built?
Well, I kind of feel at this point that first of all, anyone who thinks the status quo is a good idea is probably not convincible. You know, if you let tens of millions of people into your country illegally, you destroy all your cities, you wreck the economy, you can't afford to go out to dinner, things aren't going well. And if you're willing to ignore that, then you're probably not someone I can persuade. So I would say that. Never give up on anyone, but probably best to just pray for those people instead of talk to them about politics. I really think...
Okay, let's see who actually J.D. Vance is by the incredibly reputable Wall Street Journal, shall we, gentlemen?
J.D. Vance has had a meteoric rise in the Republican Party. From a best-selling author and never-Trumper in 2016...
I'm a never-Trump guy. I never liked him.
...to winning a U.S. Senate seat at age 38. And now, he's former President Donald Trump's running mate.
Elect Donald Trump in 2024. God bless you, sir.
Vance is very much a creature of the new Republican Party that Trump has shaped in his image. By picking Vance, Trump is showing he's doubling down on this MAGA agenda. It's a full-throated, populist, national conservative ticket.
Here's why the Trump-Vance ticket is a big deal for the future of the MAGA movement.
Yeah, but in this case, the word populist actually means something, because very often they refer to even the most milquetoast leftists that like, oh, healthcare good and higher salary is good. And they're like, oh my God, populism, this makes absolutely no sense. No, that is realizing that the system isn't working well and you got to reform it a bit. The most milquetoast leftist approach. That is not populism. That is just fucking having a goddamn fucking brain. But with this, as we've seen previously with kind of the person most in touch with the pulse of American politics, Tucker Carlson, it's just bad thing there. But what's the bad thing, sir? I don't know, but bad thing. Immigrants, I guess. Everything bad. So vote me. Wonderful. And everything bad go away. But sir, what the fuck are you talking about? No, everything bad, vote me, and me do good. And good change bad to good. And because the vast majority of the American electorate are fucking gorillas that only know how to consume, sleep, and suck their boss off, it works. It works. Thank you very much, Clark McD, for the prime sub. Welcome, my beautiful child soldier. The great Gunnar Army of Jezreel has another fighter in.
And the GOP.
Vibes-based politics. Exactly, Rando. Vibes-based fucking politics, brother. Vibes-based politics. And they are kings of it. The Republicans are kings, okay?
J.D. Vance first catapulted to fame in 2016 after he published his memoir, Hillbilly Elegy. The book detailed his experience growing up poor in Rust Belt, Ohio, and making it to Yale Law School. It was a smash hit and became a Ron Howard-directed movie in 2020.
I love seeing beautiful class traders. I love my beautiful class traders. Instead of saying, hey, I worked really hard, and yes, to an extent, thanks to my hard work, I managed to raise myself out of the shit that circumstances given me. So I should do my best to give the same potential opportunity to others, right? Which again should lead you to basic fucking class conscious mentality. No. If I could do it, everybody can do it. Ban taxes. Vote for me. Yes, thank you. I'm very smart.
No, I could have done better. But you got to decide. You want to be somebody or not?
We're trying to paint this white nationalist movement as a movement primarily of poor and working class Americans, when the truth is that the alt-right is actually led by better educated and frankly pretty well-to-do people.
In his initial foray into the public spotlight, Vance was very much anti-Trump. His book made clear that he was a conservative. Many people latched onto it as an explanation for Trump's sort of surprise success in the Republican Party and then in the election.
When Vance launched his campaign for the Senate in 2021, his stance on Trump underwent a big shift.
I obviously didn't fully appreciate the president's appeal in 2016.
Yeah, he said some bad things about me, but that was before he knew me, and then he fell in love.
He even described himself to me in one interview as a flip-flop flipper on Trump.
Which I actually believe. Unironically, this guy's got so much fucking charisma. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. I think this guy could sit down with Stalin and drink 5 beers, and Stalin gonna be like, he's my guy. I like Trump now. Okay. I mean, literally Kim Jong-un. Like, unironically.
Saying that he had similar
MAGA communism. That is the truth. Here we come. Yes.
Policy views.
Well, yeah, brother.
But was against Trump as a person until he realized that Trump was advocating for the policies that he supported.
While running for Senate, Vance was one of several pro-Trump candidates in the primary. But in one debate, Vance was the lone candidate to oppose a NATO-enforced no-fly zone over Ukraine. And that caught the eye of Trump's inner circle.
What a no-fly zone, it sounds nice, like we asked the Russians not to fly planes over Ukraine. What it means in practice is American Marine Corps pilots, Air Force pilots, and Navy pilots getting in dogfights with Russian jets, which the problem with that is it's not in our vital national interest.
That impressed Donald Trump Jr., and he began advocating for Vance's candidacy, including with his father.
Trump's unique brand of conservative politics has been reshaping the core tenets of the Republican Party since he was elected in 2016. like tighter borders and a retreat from the world stage. He's changed the GOP so much that the Republican National Committee
We need
recently...
more isolationism. No more foreign people. We need isolationism.
...revamped its platform to a new, stripped-down version, one that focuses more on Trump himself than on specific policy decisions.
Trump has been changing all of those stances to the point where many older Republicans feel it's no longer recognizable. At the same time, a movement has arisen in Trump's image that believes in his policies and believes that the Republican Party should be reshaped in his image.
Believers in this movement, referred to as the New Right, or
J.D. Vance, the self-made man. Classic Life. 55 things you know about J.D. Vance, Trump's VP pick. Who is J.D. Vance really? That is the question that has dodged the 39-year-old senator from Ohio along his peculiar path to power, which began in 2016 with the publication of his best-selling memoir, Hillbilly Elegy, and culminated this week when former President Trump elected him as a running mate for the 2024 election. But we're Zoomers here, so we need rank lists, okay? Let's get the ranking list here, okay? By good old Politico. Number one, I'll be the first to admit that I've accomplished nothing great in my life. Vance wrote in the introduction to his book, I am not a senator, a government, or a former cabinet secretary. Well, that changed, my friend. That changed indeed. In 2015, 2 years after graduating from Yale, Vance joined Mithril Capital, a venture capital firm run by Silicon Valley. Okay, big money boy. Big money boy. Okay, big money boy. In 2016, he announced his plans to move back to Ohio from California to start Our Ohio Renewal, a nonprofit dedicated to making it easier for disadvantaged children to achieve their dreams, because he was one himself, at least he says. In November 2024, he was elected to the United States Senate from Ohio with the help of over $10 million in donation from Thiel. We all love our boy Thiel, okay? It was his first public office. On Monday, he was named Trump's running mate. Reflecting on his first encounter with Thiel in 2011, Vance wrote, Thiel articulated a feeling that I was obsessed with achievement in itself, not as an end to something meaningful, but a win, but to win a social competition. My worry that I had prioritized striving over character took a heightened significance. Striving for what exactly? He was born James Donald. Oh my God, another Donald? He's just like me. That is why he loves me. He's just like me. On August 2nd, blah, 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 Middleton, an industrial city, etc., etc. Maternal grandparents, known as Papa and Mama, moved to Middleton in the late 40s from Jackson, Kentucky. Okay. Jim was 16 when they moved. Okay. Vance is descendant from hillbilly royalty. Oh my God, what about the self-made aspects? On his father's side, his grandfather's distant cousin, also named Jim Vance, married into the Hatfield family and is rumored to have committed the murder that instigated the legendary feud or whatever. Okay. Vance's biological parents, Donald Trump, no Bowman, and Beau Vance, divorced when he was a toddler. He was later adopted by his mother's new husband, Bob Hamill, and changed his name to James David Hamill. The name change preserved his nickname J.D. Bev and Bob later divorced, and Bev struggled with drug addiction. Vance was raised primarily by his grandparents, who were, he wrote in Hillbilly Elegy, without question of qualification, the best thing that ever happened to me. Mama and Papa were Union Democrats. What happened to you, brother? In Hillbilly Elegy, Vance describes their political outlooks as all politicians might be crooks, but if there are any exceptions, they were undoubtedly members of Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal coalition. Growing up, Vance spent summer vacations visiting his great-grandmother and extended family in Jackson. I always distinguished my address from my home. My address was where I spent most of my time with my mother and sister, wherever that might be, but my home never changed. My great-grandmother's house in a holler in Jackson, Kentucky, fried chicken, etc., etc. Scott Irish, after graduating... Oh, no, he enlisted in the Marines and served. Oh, my God, he's so fucking electable. I served my country honorably. I saw that when I went to Iraq, that I had been lied to, that the promises, like, like, why didn't you just become a fucking communist? Like, Jesus fucking Christ, what is happening, okay? Why not just become a communist, okay? Oh. A fellow colleague who graduated from political science. Very nice. And philosophy. Another colleague. Very good. Very good. But yeah, Thiel got him early. Well, at Yale, he attended a talk by Thiel about technological stagnation and the decline of American elites. He saw these two trends as connected. Vance later recalled of his first encounter with Thiel. If technological innovation were actually driving real prosperity, our elites wouldn't feel increasingly competitive with one another over a dwindling number of prestigious outcomes. Dude, this is fucking dialectical analysis. The fuck? This is smart. Super Beltem, why did you just become a communist? Me when I hear about any person ever. Yeah. I mean, at that point, he graduated Yale and he was in the upper echelons of society, so his identity switched with his class identity probably as well. The guy needed to read proper shit instead of liberal political theory, I guess. Yale, he met his wife, Usha, his future wife and the mother of his 3 children. The couple married in 2014 and held a separate ceremony where they were blessed by a Hindu pundit. Guy be like, technology good, but we need technology to better people's lives, not just to make money. Was open-minded enough to also get married by a, Hindu version of a priest. Came from the gutter to an extent, he was from, hillbilly royalty, but also he was raised by his grandparents, which were far from wealthy, who were FDR fans, Great New Deal fans. What am I missing? And there we go. I mean, here I think you can see what we're missing. His wife went to clerk for Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts and then D.C. Circuit Judge Brett. She is now a litigator at the white shoe firm Munger, Tolles & Olson. I joked, quote, I joked with a buddy that if she had possessed a terrible personality, she would have made an excellent heroine in an Ayn Rand novel. But she had a great sense of humor. Vance wrote in his memoir, despite her conservative clerkship, colleagues describe her as a liberal or moderate. So our boy read Ayn Rand. Okay. And is, this is who, who Peter Thiel is, right? It's kind of his, guy. In a review, New York Times called his book a compassionate, discerning sociological analysis of the white underclass that has helped to drive the politics of rebellion, particularly the ascent of Donald J. Trump. Check number 48. He believes that, quote, the culture war is class war, that pushing back against the cultural values of progressive elites is necessary to advance the economic and political interests of the working... What? So the progressive elites are pushing their social theories, and that is what we need to concentrate as what is fucking with the working class. That is fucking idiotic. That's just fucking stupid. In the Senate, his culture war initiatives include bill criminalizing gender-affirming care for transgender kids, a ban on federal mask mandates, and crackdown on affirmative action policies. He publicly supports a 15-week abortion ban with exception for rape, incest, and threats to life of the mother. This just reads like a guy who comes from nothing, but became very rich, and likes that he became very rich, and therefore thinks that everybody can become very rich, and therefore that the current economic model of the United States is not in any way wrong, because look at me. But at the same time, he feels a certain amount of debt towards working class people. But because he cannot address it due to his bourgeois subjectivity, he needs to find something else to address and call out as the big threat of the, working peoples of America, working white peoples of America, I guess. And that is what the elites are proposing as social changes. So, it's Google class trader. That's who we got here, okay? And he's very good. He's perfect. He is perfect. Because Trump can continue, pushing his, I'm actually here for the working peoples of the U.S. Thank you, Ramko, for the 100 bit. Progressist agenda, liberal elites, and working class big hurt. Ooh. Exactly. Oh, my God. Oh, God. I need to blow my nose. Wait, watch this. I'll be right back. Let me get up.
Or national conservative
in his image recognizable. At the same time, a movement has arisen in Trump's image that believes in his policies and believes that the Republican Party should be reshaped in his image.
Believers in this movement, referred to as the New Right or National Conservatives, take Trump's impulses and turn them into doctrine. Vance has become one of their leading voices.
The American people, again, they need people who put the interests of their own citizens first, of our own citizens first. And that's what this entire movement is all about. And I think that's what the Trump presidency will be about if we give him another shot, as I expect that we will.
When Trump selected Mike Pence to be his running mate, that was a pick very much intended to reassure Republican voters. Pence, being a traditional conservative, an evangelical Christian, was someone who regular Republicans who saw Trump as sort of an arriviste in their party could look at Pence and say, all right, that's someone I can trust. Fast forward to 2024, it's clear that Trump no longer sees a need.
Like literally, he's most likely not a racist. He's most likely not like a white supremacist. He's most likely not even like a ultra nationalist or whatever. He's just a fucking hypocrite. God, what is going on? He's most likely just a fucking hypocrite, A rich guy who feels bad for being a rich guy, so he dedicated his life to trying to uphold... Oh my God, I'm so sorry. God, say bless you. Say bless you, you uncivilized dogs. Whew. Okay. So yeah, he's just a class trader, and thank you for all who say bless you, you bless, yeah, bless this shit up. You know what else would be a blessing to your boy? Your boy Yugopnik, for some reason talking like a Jamaican, is that ads will play in exactly 2 minutes and 30 seconds. If you want to support advertisements which make class traders like this even wealthier, then sit down, watch the ad. I will not judge. Loudly, silently I will. Because your other alternative is supporting this guy for calling out class traders such as this for only $5 a month or for free through Prime before I sneeze again. Do you want to watch Yugopnik sneezing like crazy or an ad for calling you to join the Navy? The choice is yours. The ad will play in exactly 2 minutes. Have an adless experience and join the Goon Jizrael squad instead. Thank you very much.
Need to share power with that wing of the Republican Party.
That was Jamaica. I thought it was Jersey Shore. What the fuck?
Right after Trump's attempted assassination in July, Vance was one of the first Republicans to publicly cast blame at the Biden campaign for the shooting. As Republicans unite around the Trump-Vance ticket after the July 13th attack, Democrats remain in disarray following President Biden's disastrous debate performance in June. Biden has vowed to stay in the race despite continuing calls from fellow Democrats to step away from his place at the top of the ticket.
But you see, liberals like these guys in the Wall Street Journal, like they can't find the words for it. It took you and me chat literally 30 fucking minutes to understand this guy at his fucking core. Because when you look at the material conditions, when you look at the person's words from the lens of what kind of interests he might be protecting, you can very easily get to the core of his political understanding of self and of the world, okay? So this is a man of heavy contradiction where he both wants to convince himself that he wasn't just lucky to become who he was, while at the same time understanding the struggles, understanding the pain, not the struggles, of people who quote unquote come from nothing, the white American, Rust Belt working class, etc., etc. So he needs to explain away to himself how to be a good guy without counteracting his own privileges. And that's how you just concentrate on, I don't know, fucking trans people bad and abortion bad and yeehaw, motherfucker. Like, the very same Rust Belt you grew up in, you fucking schmuck, like, had all those values back then. Okay? It was banning abortion left and right. There was no fucking, like, legal way for you to be trans and not be shot there. And people lived in the very same poverty that you witnessed yourself and wrote a whole book about that you managed to escape. And now your proposition of how to help those people is change nothing, make it the same like when I was poor, so that then they can get out of poverty because now too many blacks in college? I don't get it. I mean, I get it. It's class treason, but it's still,
I think there's a whole pool of voters there in the center of the electorate who really are not being spoken to by either candidate because of the way these tickets have shaped up.
Senators Marco Rubio from Florida and Tim Scott from South Carolina were also contenders on Trump's VP shortlist. Both could have appealed more to minority voters, something that Trump has historically struggled with. Choosing Vance allows Trump to shore up support among the white working class.
Ohio is also part
Jesus continues with the fucking racialized analysis that we love from Americans. God fucking damn it.
of the Rust Belt. And the most crucial states in this election are those Rust Belt states. That white working class vote is a vote that is also very crucial throughout those Rust Belt battlegrounds. There is a hope by some of Vance's backers and some on Trump's team that he could potentially galvanize those voters even more than Trump already does to juice Republican turnout in those states.
What was the Russia collusion hoax? It was about destroying Donald Trump. This ridiculous New York fraud case, it's about destroying the guy's wealth before he re-enters the Oval Office.
It's good to see you, man. Thank you.
He is really a bet on the future as well, a bet on the future of the Republican Party and a bet on the future of the populist conservative movement. Trump would never say he's anointing a successor, but Vance was decades younger than the other potential picks that were under consideration for vice president. And in choosing such a young person to be on the ticket with him, there's an unavoidable implication that Trump has sort of chosen an heir, chosen someone to take the mantle of that MAGA movement and go forward with it, whether it's as a future president himself or simply as someone who is poised.
I think he hated what he went through and associated that with the people around him and glorified himself and used the past to fuel his future.
A new child soldier.
That's called being a class traitor. Yeah. In political terminology, at least. Thank you very much to stop giving a shit for the 5 gifted community subs. That is a 10 gifted community sub by stop giving a shit.
Soldier.
I mean, doesn't look like you actually stop giving a shit. Ain't nobody watching ads in this motherfucking chat. And the great army of Gunerstan is establishing itself once more at its path towards 1,000 strong soldiers, which shall quell the British masses and kick them out of the island as we rise into a future empire completely dedicated to the art of the goon under the great and wise leadership of the white streamer class. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you indeed. Thank you indeed. For those of you new here at Chatlon, don't think we're insane. That's just a edgy joke thing we do. Please don't think we're insane. Oh, okay. Let's talk. Let's continue with the most unbiased, definitely not owned also by my boss Jeff Bezos news source Wall Street Journal, debunking conspiracy theories around Trump's assassination attempt. Assassination attempt. Indeed. Thank you, Ramka, as always, for the 100 bits. It's annoying how the libs made populism seem like a bad thing because they call those right-wing grifters populists. Exactly. That's the whole point. They will identify a very real, quote-unquote, populism in the right, which is saying words that are nothing burgers. Oh my God, the evils are coming and we are the goods and we will protect the good Christian from the evil Satanists, right? Shit that means nothing. And call it out as like just mambo jumbo, but then use the same terminology on leftists that are just even the most cookie cutter ones that are like, can we has healthcare, please? You know, as populist as well, even though their demands are, fucking just human, you know, as basic of a request as you can give to your state. How about me no die if me break foot? Yes?
In the immediate aftermath of the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, misinformation and conspiracy theories spread rapidly online.
Yeah, and I love how this is the pitch that it's like online is the evil thing. Whenever anything happened in the history of all time ever, most people were like, ha, that didn't happen that way. I have a theory on what actually happened. That's humans. That's the human condition. Not Russian bots on Twitter spreading crazy thing, bro. Yeah. And if actually, funny enough, if there was ever a situation that is just wild, I'm not saying like, yes, that kid did shoot. Yes, the special forces didn't do their job properly, etc., etc. But if there was ever a moment, ever an assassination, in my opinion, that I understand would create conspiracies is this one. So many bullets grazes his fucking ear. So many security forces told by civilians who saw the guy climbing up on the thing and putting his AR, right? And then he gets shot. He gets up. He raises the fist. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. But that's the whole point. Sometimes like reality is far more fun and unhinged and crazy than any fiction that we can think of. And it's additionally crazy in the American context because for some reason the American thinks, oh my God, something like this could never happen here. Even though ironically, assassinations are kind of the American thing. Like presidential assassinations are like a very big, like the American brother, yeah, American thing, you know? I don't know, in the Balkans, correct me if I'm wrong, but ever since like World War II, I think we had one successful assassination when they killed this guy in Serbia, Zoran. He was like a big he was a privatization shit. I'm not a fan, but he was a big anti-mafia guy, and to an extent they just tried to off this guy, assassination. Thank you very much, Red Phil, one of the absolute fucking OGs for resubscribing for 3 months. Tier 1, 6 months. Thank you very, very kindly. Killing of Zoran Djindjic. What was it?
The murder of Serbian Prime Minister Djindjic in March 2003 shocked the nation. The public were grief-stricken. Even though Djindjic has been far from popular during it.
Do they have nothing? Here we only see the... This is the only frame we kind of have. He exits the car, is going towards the parliament or whatever you call it, and then a sniper from across the street, like right in that angle of the street, just hits him, and hits him hard.
Podsjetimo, premijer Zoran Đinđić ubijen je 12. marta 2003. godine oko 12 sati i 25 minuta. Vlada Srbije je nekoliko sati nakon ubistva...
This is an E60, right? Or this is the long one. There you go. This is a Balkan Twitch streamer. Can't take it. Sees BMWs. Like, what is this? This is the long. This is the Oof. I don't remember. Somebody help me here. Which model is this? But this is the limousine one, the longer one.
It took authorities roughly 8 hours to publicly confirm the identity of the gunman because he was not carrying ID. This allowed ample time for unfounded theories about the gunman's identity.
Says nothing, does not leave text behind him. Shoots, dies. What did you want to do, okay?
Big dig. Does that help you see my problem a little better?
Back into the left. An E32. Yeah, an E32. Yeah, it's an E32. An E32M. Oh, God. Oh God, my Balkan penis is fucking throbbing. Look at this. Oh my God. Look at this. Oh my Lord. Oh Lord. There's not a... Oh, okay.
To spread
I don't think it's legal for me to ejaculate on stream.
As reports of the shooter's name began to surface and the FBI confirmed his identity as Thomas Matthew Crooks, many on social media began posting a photo of someone they thought was the shooter. But this image was incorrect.
There's too many Americans that look like this, and everybody was confused. Too many American white boys look like this.
The person who was actually in the photos responded on X, posing as the real shooter and mocking those who shared images of him.
My name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. I hate Republicans. I hate Trump. And guess what? You got the wrong guy.
Still, screenshots and edited clips of the video spread widely as though it were a message from the real shooter. Another widespread conspiracy theory shared by would-be internet sleuths claimed that a dark spot on Trump's chest in a photo...
Would-be internet sleuths. Oh my God. They are not accredited journalists like us. Make me like journalists. Make me like liberal journalists. Make me like liberal... Make me like liberal... I cannot. It is the most difficult operation that has ever existed in the history of humankind. For the American liberal journalist is not likable.
Was proof he had been shot in the chest and had been saved by a bulletproof vest. Photos of the same moment show there is no bullet hole in his jacket.
Absolutely, chatter. Absolutely, thinking Sabercat. We all know, and he got away, that the real shooter was actually this. Sam Hyde... 100% the real shooter, okay? Sam Hyde, from every perspective, okay? He is hardcore pro-Ukraine. Trump would have pulled funding away from Ukraine, and they, and he had to give his life. Right? This is like Sam Hyde. This is like he's an incredible demagogue of the American online far right. Okay.
Whoa! Adolf Hitler needs me? Okay, I'll do it. I'm going to bat for you, Hitler. I got your back, Hitler. Okay.
These were the last words he said. This is a clip recorded right after he killed Trump. Okay. Okay. Let's hear it again.
Whoa! Adolf Hitler needs me? Okay, I'll do it. I'm going to bat for you, Hitler. I got your back, Hitler. Okay?
Okay, back to being serious.
Later released a statement saying he was shot in the ear. This unfounded theory was viewed millions of times after being shared by...
I'm proud of my chat for you knowing who Sam Hyde is. That's deep lore. That's deep 2013 lore, bro. It's deep lore. No, I know he's been trying to come back, but I get no lore. I get nothing from Sam Hyde, okay? He's like the internet version of Trump. It's pretty wild individual. For a moment, like iDubbbz kind of brought him back, but then it went nowhere.
Several popular accounts.
Hey, Sam Hyde, hit me up, but don't shoot me, okay?
Oh, when you're ready, on you. Ready, move. Up.
This same moment also fueled conspiracy theories that the shooting was staged. In one post viewed millions of times, an ex-user claimed if there were actual danger, the Secret Service would not have allowed Trump to remain a target after shots were fired. Former Secret Service agents the Journal spoke to said the agents around the former president...
Thank you, Romka, for 100 bits. Literally all tanky meme Telegram channels are LARPing on Hyde right now. Yeah, who knows, man. Hyde, the OG respectable enemy, right? The OG troll, the OG fucking just, the last shit I watched from him was like him sitting in like a fucked up like American marsh with like a fishing stick, recording himself on a drone, but the drone wasn't in the sky. It was just in front of him. And he was ranting about how men are fuckers, women don't like them or some shit. It's you never know if this guy's trolling, okay?
President were acting in a way that was consistent with the agency's protocol.
Hold on, your head is bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus.
They moved quickly to surround him and then worked together effectively to move him from the stage once it was safe to do so. The rush to establish a motive for the shooting also led to viral misinformation. X-users claimed the video of a man shouting hateful comments about Republicans was of the shooter. In reality, the video is of an Arizona State University student reacting to Trump's acquittal after his impeachment trial in 2020. Crooks was still in high school at the time in Pennsylvania.
Thomas Crooks.
This video of Bethel Park High School's commencement ceremony shows him graduating in 2022. X did not respond to a request for comment. Some of the original posts no longer appear on.
I love how they hit up X for comments. Like, fucking boomer ass fucking logic, dude. The fuck, like, who the fuck are these, like, 80-year-old liberal journalists? Seriously. A bunch of people posted stupid shit on the internet, and they're like, we reached out to the whole platform to tell us why we found this on your platform. Do you not know how the internet works? No, they don't. I mean, apparently they don't. Wall Street Journal. Academically accredited. Facebook, why did the shooter post a video on Facebook? Do you know more information about this? Hey, City Forum, do you know more information on why Brutus participated in the killing of Caesar? Sir, you are talking to the little town square. Yes, but this is the platform where they discussed things back in ancient Rome. The little paved roads must know more about why Brutus killed Caesar. How do you do, my fellow kids?
On the platform, and others have been tagged with community notes from other X users correcting the posts. But misinformation continues to spread rapidly.
But speaking of X, we
I'm
have some
sure
new information.
there will be a lot of people watching this video.
We have some new information.
He's not just making an Instagram play. Tonight, what I think is maybe one of the most significant plays is Elon Musk. Elon Musk tonight announced that he will be giving $45 million a month to a newly formed super PAC. And that's just cash. But think about, you have the man who controls formerly Twitter, now X, going out there saying, I'm openly supporting in a massive way Donald Trump. It was moments after the assassination attempt. You saw Elon Musk, who controls Twitter, putting up that photo of Donald Trump, on the platform. And one of the reasons it's noteworthy, Elon Musk is very, very.
This is a plot we've never seen coming. Many a year, Elon Musk posting, this is interesting to think about. Question mark, this is interesting to think about. On many different white supremacist conspiracy theories, now supporting future President-elect Donald Trump. Very completely unexpected chat. Are you experiencing the blowing of the mind the way I am, eh?
Close to J.D. Vance, as is Peter Thiel. Yeah. Just last week, I spoke to a major CEO in the AI space who said Elon Musk is laser beam focused on Donald Trump. Why?
Dead naming Twitter is wild. Is that what we're calling it? Oh, is that what? Oh, that's funny. That's pretty fucking funny.
Because the next president, irrelevant of who it is going to control the fate of AI, which will change every bit of how we live. So to me, yes, we're talking about an Instagram play. We're talking about Amber Rose. When you have someone like Elon Musk today, make it public, he's giving this kind of money over the next 113 days. That is.
And as you can see, Elon Musk is giving the entirety of $45 million for things to just not change at all. Well, what if I told you that not for $45 million, not for $5 million, but for only $5 a month, or even for free if you support the superior Supreme Leader Jeff Bezos over Elon Musk, you can support the channel, and in return, you get much more than Trump can ever give Elon Musk, and that is no fucking ads, ever, as well as a high rank in the Gunnar Army of Jezreel. Well, Don't be surprised, because that is the actual truth if you can believe it. Instead of watching the ad that's going to play in exactly 1 minute, do consider becoming a subscriber and enjoying an adless experience, or donating it to someone less privileged than you. Thank you very much.
Major. Could you have a shadow-type president in Elon Musk getting what he wants from a Donald Trump? That's something we should be thinking about.
Yeah. Oh my God, a shadow-type president, Elon Musk. What's Elon Musk going to do? He's going to reopen all the mines, for the children yearn for them, brothers. I love liberals, man. But it is crazy that basically the guy who owns the world's biggest forum for, well, debate and conversation is now openly supporting, quote unquote, one side of the aisle in the United States. That is pretty wild, pretty wild.
Yeah, so if Elon Musk is going to put...
She just described lobbying, but scary, exactly. Oh my God, a rich guy with, like, power, chat. He's, like, influencing politicians, dude, by, like, giving them, like, money. Oh my God, what is happening to our democracy? You are now my favorite employee.
Put up, 150 or 2.
Yeah, brother, we don't like. We're liberals, brother. We don't like when this one particular millionaire gives money to the enemy. But we love when Israel gives money to our guy to kill more Palestinian children. We fucking masturbate that shit, brother.
$200 million is what he's talking about there, that we know of, plus whatever he's already put in. And then you've got Peter Thiel, who spoke at the last Republican National Convention. Peter Thiel, an incredibly radical, incredibly controversial figure in American politics. I mean, to the point where, women shouldn't vote. We should form new countries based on floating shipping containers so that we aren't constrained by the terrible tyranny of an American constitution. I mean, like, Peter Thiel is as out there as you get. They gave him a speaking spot at the last.
God, I hate protecting the sanctity of our democracy type motherfuckers, right?
He is his boy.
Exactly. And Peter Thiel almost single-handedly created.
Remember, Thiel is the main influencer boy of the VP, of the class trader VP we talked about earlier.
Aided J.D. Vance as a political figure. He is the one who funded him becoming a senator. He tried to do it with Blake Masters in Arizona at the same time, and with J.D. Vance in Ohio. He could not get there with Blake Masters. It didn't help that Blake Masters said he thought the most underappreciated thinker in American life was the Unabomber. That didn't help. But J.D. Vance was disciplined enough to not talk about his Unabomber beliefs, if he has them. But Peter Thiel is his guy. Peter Thiel created him in a lab. And so to have Peter Thiel own the vice president and to have Elon Musk own the president at a time when Donald Trump has personal financial liability.
But we love it. We love it when AIPAC owns our presidents, brother. We love when AIPAC owns our presidents. That is fucking patriotic as shit, man. That is patriotic as shit. But we're another type of fucking billionaire who owns another guy. Yeah, that is bad. That is bad. Hey, maybe billionaires owning politicians is not a great way to run our country, and therefore we should institute systematic change where legalized corruption of incredibly powerful political elites is no longer something we stand for as a state. No. It is only when the bad billionaires give money, that is when it is bad. But when it is the good billionaires that give money, then it is good. I am very smart. Please give me a job at MSNBC. Thank you, Ramka, for 100 bits. As always, liberals scared of Kaczynski like hell. I love it.
He's in the hundreds of millions of dollars that are not going to go away because he is president. We are looking at a situation.
It's giving Harlan Crow. It's giving Harlan Crow.
But
I mean, if you think
we're looking at a situation. We live in society.
Think about the amount of government contracts Elon Musk has through Starlink, not just with the U.S. government, governments around the world. He is so tangled, and now he could be in a position where he is sitting behind the scenes and getting exactly what he wants from a sitting president.
And this is why I'm saying Harlan Crow. I mean, if you think about the way that these billionaires are purchasing Supreme Court justices, purchasing policies that they want, purchasing the American government. And, Elon Musk as a person, to go back to the Ann Barillo, he is somebody who was sued by his own employees because they created such a racist environment inside of Tesla that people couldn't even stand to work there. There were parts of the factory that were called the slave quarters under him. He's somebody who said to Don Lemon when Don Lemon briefly had...
Yes, bad, but also every billionaire also does this all the time. Why when Orange Man get billionaire, it's bad, but when all the decrepit corpse man get billionaire, then it's good. I mean, Elon Musk bad, but Elon Musk not apartheid regime that has killed tens of thousands of children in the last couple of months. If bad group giving money problem, maybe also talk about that problem. Ay, блядь, oh.
At this show that was on Next that's now not on it anymore, that the way to get rid of racism is to stop talking about it. And if you just would shut up about it, it would go away. I mean, his own views, he has opened Twitter up to Nazis and some of the most extreme views to the point where a lot of sort of, reasonable people have gotten off of it because it's so toxic and ugly. And of course he would love to own a president. Of course Peter Thiel would love to own the vice president. What we're seeing is the purchasing of the American experiment, the purchasing of the American government, multiple branches
Which has
of
been
it.
happening for like 200 years, motherfucker. Like the fuck? Liberals discovering core tenets of American way of life. Purchasing American democracy is the definition of American democracy, baby. Welcome to the free market, motherfucker. This is literally the Biden stan Wojak. No, where is the guy that goes, Biden stan frog? Oh my, fuck you. What were they called? What are the fucking frogs called? God damn it, Zoomers, help me out up in this motherfucker. Jesus Christ, I'm too much in my Wojak era. I can't remember. The frogs, come on, help me. Pepe, Jesus, thank you. Okay, Biden supporter Pepe. Google sucks so fucking much, man.
And it's happening right in front of our eyes.
Unless the voters choose otherwise.
Yeah.
That's still to be seen.
Hey there, MSNBC fans. I'm Luke Russert, and
why the fuck did you appear on my screen? Okay, let's go now to depressionnow.com with Amy Badman, brought to you by the War and War Report. The bingo card for today is imperialism, mass murder, rise of the far right, and race-based violence. Let us see if that is the direction that the depressionnow.com, brought to you by Amy Badman, goes into. It is time for the News Hour. The News Hour with your boy Yugopnik on today's day, July 16th. Welcome, chatters. Let us go through the news and hold each other's hands as we get furiously depressed, and we look at Amy Badman's beautiful face. Thank you very much.
Hello, Earth.
Okay, hello, Earth.
Welcome to Democracy Now! DemocracyNow.org. We're breaking with convention. War, peace, and the presidency. I'm Amy Goodman. We're broadcasting from Milwaukee. Donald Trump has selected freshman Ohio Senator J.D. Vance as his running mate. Republicans celebrated the decision while Democrats warned against Vance's extremist views, with President Biden labeling him a clone of Trump. The 39-year-old former Marine gained fame after writing the best-selling memoir Hillbilly Elegy, a memoir of a family and culture in crisis, about growing up in Appalachia. He won a close Republican Senate primary in 2022.
We talked about this previously. If you're joining this beautiful stream right now, a hot take on this guy, ultimate class trader, climbed his way out of nothing, became wealthy, still feels bad about people from his community not doing that well, the white working class and so on. Does not have the ability to look at systematic problems because of his bourgeois bias of being a very wealthy man. Proceeds to do what? Proceeds to just say trans people bad and black people in college bad, because that's the only solution he can find. That's pretty much the hot take on the VP, and that's, I think, the correct take on the VP. Okay, thank you.
The billionaire tech investor Peter Thiel, who poured a record-breaking $10 million into his campaign. J.D. Vance's political positions have shifted dramatically over the years. Once a Trump critic, J.D. Vance went on to embrace the MAGA movement and far-right positions on abortion, the climate, immigration, and other issues. Donald Trump appeared alongside J.D. Vance Monday at the Republican National...
Dude, why did he wear the thing on top? On top of his ear. Such a fail. He should have just been with the fucked up ear, dude. With the stitches, with everything. That would have been so, like, more... you know?
Convention as he made his first public showing.
2010 is 420. You're in the wrong business. What should be my business, brother?
Since Saturday's assassination attempt. Trump appeared with a bandaged ear as he sat next to J.D. Vance, and Republicans formally nominated Trump and Vance for the 2024 ticket.
Yeah, I know. He's like political science. Yeah, a fellow colleague, a fellow...
We'll have more on J.D. Vance and the first day of the Republican National Convention after headlines. Meanwhile, in related news, Elon Musk said he'll give $45 million per month to the new pro-Trump super PAC, America PAC. Outside the Fiserv Forum, where the RNC,
also known as Nothing Has Changed, absolutely nothing has changed,
is taking place here in Milwaukee, activists gathered to protest the Republican agenda.
We're really proud to be marching with it.
Yugopnik should go do marketing. That is exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm just not marketing diapers or chicken McNuggets. I am marketing the eternal science of Marxism. Thank you very much.
Sight and sound of the convention, letting the Republicans know that we are here. We care about the climate, we care about immigrant rights, we care about Palestine. There's a large contingent of different organizations marching because they want to let them know that these are the issues people care about today.
Meanwhile, Sherry Hankala, national spokesperson for the Poor People's Army, was arrested Monday as she attempted to deliver a citizen's arrest to Republican officials whom the group has accused of crimes against humanity. Just hours earlier, she spoke to Democracy Now! About that action and more. Go to democracynow.org to see that interview. A federal judge in Florida has dismissed special counsel Jack Smith's criminal case against Donald Trump over his mishandling of classified documents after leaving the White House.
Not marketing chicken nuggets. Lol, I got 2 McDonald's ads. That's what the subscription is for, baby. That's what the subscription is for.
On Monday,
I'm literally caught in eternal limbo. Like an ex-marketing guy got a bit of class consciousness and now wants to use his evil expertise that has been granted to him by the corporate mega demons to combat socialism. Also, same guy needs to feed himself by playing ads. You gotta love capitalism, right? Like, just commodified me straight out the gate, brother. But that's where the subs come in, which really help me not feel commodified. Because I don't feel commodified, I just feel like a beggar. That you guys give money to, okay? Which, feeling like a beggar, much nicer than feeling like a corporate chill sellout. So, you know. The choice is on you on how I feel when you choose between watching ads and subbing, you know?
Trump-appointed U.S. Judge Aileen Cannon sided with Trump's lawyers, who argued Attorney General Merrick Garland's appointment of the special counsel was unlawful because Smith had not been appointed by Biden or confirmed by the Senate. Cannon also ruled Smith had been improperly funded by the Treasury Department. Cannon's legal...
Thank you, Ramko, for 100 bits. I'd rather give money to a tanky grifter than to a landlord. I don't know who you're referring to as a tanky or a grifter, because I most definitely am a landlord. No, I'm kidding. JT is my landlord. It's fucking hell, man. Should give him more shit, dude. Communist landlord. Can't believe it, man. Can't believe I followed him into this career.
Rationale drew from a concurring opinion by far-right Justice Clarence Thomas in the Supreme Court's historic ruling Trump v. United States, which grants presidents broad immunity from prosecution. A federal grand jury had indicted Trump on 40 felony counts, 32 violations of the Espionage Act for willful retention of national defense information, and another...
Willful retention. Chat, you should know a lot about that, right? Eh? Okay, the bit went too long.
There are 8 counts of obstructing justice. The Justice Department is expected to appeal the ruling, but the legal victory has given Trump another boost as he officially accepts the presidential nomination this week here at the RNC. Democrats slam the decision.
Must quite literally be nothing weirder in the world than being a woman in Yugopnik's chat. I swear to fucking God. Feel bad for you guys, but please don't leave.
By Judge Cannon. President Biden called the dismissal specious. Meanwhile, Florida Republican Congressmember Matt Gaetz reacted to the news by calling Aileen Cannon a, quote, future Supreme Court justice. We'll have more on this story later in the broadcast with Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist David K. Johnston.
Liz Gist, what do you mean I'm the chief gooning officer? Thank you for your service, chief gooning officer, right now, right here, right now.
Investigations continue into the suspected gunman in Saturday's failed assassination attempt against Donald Trump at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. The FBI is analyzing 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crook's cell phone, though no apparent motive has yet to emerge. Crooks was a nursing home and
his parents are so fucked. Like, actually, this is the first time I thought about his parents. Ooh, that is some doomer pill right there for his parents. Shit. They gotta move. His parents gotta move out of the States. His parents have to emigrate. There's no life for them left in the country. Absolutely no life left. They gotta move. I don't see any other solution. Absolutely any other solution.
Employee who'd registered to vote as a Republican, though his acquaintances say he was fairly quiet with no overt political leanings. Federal investigators believe he acted alone, but they say they're still exploring all avenues. Meanwhile, congressional Republicans have called on the Secret Service Director, Kimberly Cheadle, to testify about apparent failures ahead of and in response to the incident. Cheadle has rejected calls to resign. Video emerged Monday of witnesses warning law enforcement of the gunman 2 minutes before he began shooting from the roof of a nearby building. A local NBC affiliate reports the shooter was spotted by law enforcement nearly 30 minutes before he opened fire. In an interview with NBC's Lester Holt Monday, President Biden was questioned about language he's used while campaigning against Trump, including telling Democratic donors, quote, it's time to put Trump in the bullseye.
It was a mistake to use the word. I didn't say crosshairs. I meant bullseye. I meant focus on him. Focus on what he's doing. Focus on his policies. Focus on the number of lies he told in the debate. Focus. I mean, there's a whole range of things that, look, I'm not the guy that said, I want to be a dictator on day one. I'm not the guy that refused to accept the outcome of the election. I'm not the guy who said that won't accept the outcome of this election automatically. You can't only love your country when you win.
President Biden also repeated his earlier call on Sunday to cool down the political rhetoric. The head of UNRWA, the UN's Palestinian Refugee Agency, said its Gaza headquarters has been, quote, flattened and turned into a battlefield, unquote, as Israeli forces continue their scorched earth campaign in Gaza City. Israeli attacks are also continuing throughout the Gaza Strip, including in Deir al-Balah, where survivors searched through rubble for their loved ones after fresh airstrikes brought down at least one building Monday.
My mother, an elderly woman, was sitting with me upstairs. She went downstairs, and after 5...
If you were American, would you stay home or vote Biden would stay home? Jesus Christ, I've said my opinion about this all the time. But I am not telling you what to do. If you want to fucking go vote for a guy who is actively participating in a genocide. So, yeah, your choice. Your choice on how well you want to sleep at night, even though, again, the vote won't actually do anything, but you get my fucking point.
5 minutes. I pulled her out from under the rubble. We also pulled my sister out from under the rubble, and my sister's children, too. Those who died are my mother, my sister, and my sister's children. Children.
Yeah, that's what you would be voting for, okay?
May God save
Vote
them.
local, yeah. Vote local, I guess, yeah.
Turkey
Shank
has condemned Israel's military for destroying the...
Yeah, Turkey continues condemning everything, and fucking Erdogan always goes out and is like, man, we're gonna fucking kill all the fucking... We're gonna bomb Israel tomorrow. Proceeds to do nothing. Last decade, quite literally.
Turkish-Palestinian Friendship Hospital, Gaza's only specialized cancer center, after using it as a military...
Samo te pitam, bro, da bre, opušteno, ja se zajebavam. Ne znam ni šta da im kažem, jebote, oni su toliko usrani.
Base for months. Turkish officials said it's further proof of Israel's, quote, systematic policy aimed at the annihilation of the Palestinian people, unquote, and vowed to pursue Israel in international courts. Here in the U.S., Secretary of State Antony Blinken told two top Israeli officials the civilian death toll in Gaza is unacceptably high during an Israeli visit to Washington, D.C. Israel's killed at least 38,700 Palestinians in Gaza since October 7th, though the true death toll is...
And that will play in exactly 30 seconds. If you would like to support this show and not watch ads at any point during our transmissions, please do consider becoming a subscriber for $5 a month or for free through Prime. Let's hit that 1,000 proud child soldiers. Thank you very much for your consideration.
It's likely much higher. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is
and that will play in 20 seconds.
Still expected to address Congress on July 24th, despite the reported concern about the death toll and mounting objections among Democrats to Netanyahu's appearance. The European Union has announced sanctions against 5 Israeli settlers and 3 other entities responsible for serious and systematic human rights abuses against Palestinians in the occupied West Bank and East Jerusalem. Those sanctions include the group Tzav 9, which the EU said regularly blocks humanitarian aid trucks with food, water, and fuel headed to Gaza. Also on the list were Ben-Zion Gopstein.
Put him on a terrorist list. That might actually do something. Oh, my God. The guy's getting absolutely no money from the European Union in general, and now sanctioned. I'm the EU. I love doing nothing but LARPing that I am doing something.
Founder of the far-right Jewish supremacist group Lachava, which means the flame, and Ischar Man. All 3 have also been sanctioned by the U.S. government. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he plans to host a second international peace summit in Kyiv this fall to discuss Ukraine's failure. 92 countries attended a similar summit in Switzerland last month. And Ischar Man. All 3 have also been sanctioned by the U.S. government. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he plans to host a second international peace summit in Kyiv this fall to discuss Ukraine's failure. 92 countries attended a similar summit in Switzerland last month, though Russia and China did not attend. Zelensky spoke after returning from last week's NATO summit in D.C.
I love when my peace talks only include one of the sides. I love that. Those are my favorite peace talks, when only one of the sides is present.
I believe that we're ready to hold the second summit sooner rather than later. And I believe that representatives of Russia should be present at the second summit.
Okay, good. Good work, Zelensky. Okay, good work. Let's try and fucking stop more Slavs from dying, please. Thank you.
Last month's summit discussed 3 of Zelensky's 10-part formula for peace, covering food security, nuclear safety, and the release of prisoners of war and children. It's unclear if Moscow will be willing to attend a follow-up summit.
Thank you very much, non-binary. Welcome, beautiful, beautiful name. To the great child soldier community. You shall be put in the non-binary child soldier detachment, fighting for the great Gunnar state of Israel. Thank you kindly.
Though a Russian official last week rejected the idea.
Then fuck that Russian official. I piss in his fucking mouth. Jesus fucking Christ. Don't spit in an extended hand. God. Why does everybody have to suck so fucking much? I sound like a beauty pageant contestant, but like, can we just please get along? Like, please, pretty please, let's just stop this. Thank you.
A Russian
USSR 2, please, now, tomorrow.
Court has convicted U.S.-Russian journalist Masha Gessen in absentia Monday, sentencing them to 8 years in prison for remarks made in 2022 about the invasion of Ukraine. Gesson, who lives in the U.S., was found guilty of spreading false information when they spoke in an interview about the massacre of hundreds of people by Russian forces in the eastern Ukrainian city of Bucha. You can see our interviews with Masha Gesson about the war in Ukraine, Gaza, and many other topics at democracynow.org. In El Salvador, children have been subjected to serious human rights violations under President Nayib Bukele's.
And DepressionNow.com returns after some relatively positive news about potential peace talks. Amy Badman cannot leave us alone. Now she's going to talk about children getting fucking killed.
Violent crackdown on gangs. That's according to Human Rights Watch, which has just released a report detailing the arbitrary detention, torture, and other forms of abuse against children who've been arrested during El Salvador's state of exception that's been in force since March 2022. The report says detained children are held in overcrowded prisons, are not provided adequate food or health care, and have been denied access to their lawyers and visits with family members. Many
Why the fuck are you arresting kids, you fucking dogs?
Convicted in unfair trials without due process. And in New York, a coalition of immigration and civil rights groups has filed a complaint on behalf of immigrants detained at the Buffalo Federal Detention Facility over chronic abuse there. The complaint accuses Immigration and Customs Enforcement of engaging in a brutal retaliation campaign against detained people who participated in a peaceful hunger strike to protest dire conditions inside the jail. Being denied access to free calls to their families and ICE's practice of locking immigrants in their cells for 18 hours a day. ICE officials threaten the hunger strikers.
American prison system, also known as the biggest housing conglomerate of American citizens. More prisoners than in the rest of the world combined. Thank you very much.
With physical violence and placing them in solitary confinement. Meanwhile, in New York, a federal judge Friday dismissed Rudy Giuliani's bankruptcy protection case, clearing the way for creditors to potentially seize his assets. Giuliani had sought bankruptcy protection after a jury in December awarded two Georgia
I love that they're using this footage of him literally melting on screen. And I love how Trump just abandoned his boy. His boy! He just abandoned his boy completely.
Election workers $148 million in their defamation case against Giuliani following the 2020 election. Environmental groups renewed calls for a ban on deep-sea mining Monday as the International Seabed Authority opened its annual summit in Jamaica. More than 24 nations attending the talks have called for a moratorium on deep-sea mining, which creates massive sediment plumes and can devastate marine ecosystems. In a statement, the Deep Sea Conservation Coalition wrote, quote, "The deep ocean sustains." We move now to the streets of Milwaukee. This is Breaking with Convention, War, Peace, and the Presidency. I'm Amy Goodman, broadcasting from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Let's move to this. This coverage seems interesting. The genocidal man versus the fascist man. RNC protesters decry 2024 choices, call for justice.
Wisconsin. Protesters marched outside the Republican National Convention Monday. The march endorsed by more than 100 activist groups, including many that also plan to march in Chicago during the Democratic National Convention. These are some of the voices from the protest.
Oh no. Immediately debunked because lady purple hair. RNC, please give me money.
Donald Trump, here we come. Yeah, so we know that right now the RNC Republican National
Do not come. Do not come.
Convention has descended in Milwaukee, bringing with it hate and perpetuating violence against communities of color and a right-wing agenda that they plan to implement in 2025. We're calling for many...
Brother, I bet she has fucking pronouns, brother. I bet you got fucking pronouns, this fucking purple-haired woman.
demands. We're the contingency here with USPCN Milwaukee, and our demands are very clear. We need an end to genocide. Under Trump's first administration, he targeted, he made his name on targeting Muslim communities, African communities, communities of color. And we know that, that same hate is actually resulting the type of political violence that we're seeing nowadays that's not only targeting folks of color, but targeting students on campuses.
My name is Layla, and I'm here because I am not happy with the Republican or Democrat parties. I'm still in high school, but I think that it's important that the world hear our voices, and this is not okay. Free Palestine and free abortion rights and trans.
What is she saying? Brothers, what is she saying? I can only hear her saying Hamas. I can only hear her speaking in Hamas. I have no idea what is she saying, brothers.
Rights. And you have a sticker that says...
Is it even a she? We're all the Hamas, all gender fluids as well, brothers.
No human being is illegal. Free Palestine. Why do all of these struggles connect for you? Well...
This is America. Speak goddamn American. Stop speaking Hamas, god fucking damn it.
It's the same struggle, just under a different name. Whether it's Native American rights, whether it's Palestinian rights, whether it's the South African the apartheid in South Africa, it's all the same. And as people, we need to realize our humanity and stand together.
Well, unironically, why is literal tiny 15-year-old girl smarter than all of American political establishment? Let them kids rule, brother. Instead of, we need an age ceiling, not an age floor, brothers. God bless this girl.
In our times of crisis, so that's why I think it's so important that we all stand together.
Are you two sisters?
Yes, sisters.
My name is Raya, and I'm here because I don't believe our country is going in the right direction. It's really, really sad, and honestly, I'm not someone who can vote. But if I was someone who could vote, I would be appalled by the options that we're given. We're given a genocidal man and a fascist man. And
these two 2024, okay? These two 2024. Where is the ballot? Where do I write their name? These two 2024. We can call them the Hamas sisters, okay? I want to vote for the Hamas sisters. Thank you very much.
that is a terrible decision to pick from.
That's actually a great fucking ballot box name, like the Hamas sisters. Ramka, thank you for the 100 bits. The kids are all right. Yes, indeed they are. I love the kids, man.
I'm with the Chicago Alliance Against Racism and Political Repression, executive member and the co-chair of our campaign formed through our organization, campaigning free incarcerated innocent torture survivors.
And how do you feel that the Republican nominee, potential nominee for president, is a 34 felony count convicted felon?
It's a damn shame when I got loved ones like these men that's on my shirt that's been in prison for over a decade fighting for wrongful convictions, but we can have a president.
Yes, battle box. I apologize, Chad. Battle box.
To be our president. It's a shame. It's a shame on America for even allowing it. Now the Supreme Court grew to give presidents immunity.
This is really good. Fascist Trump, genocide Joe. America is cooked so much it's not even al dente. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
It's a shame. That just goes to show.
My name is Brandon Cenas, and I am a member and representing Bayan USA. We're an alliance of anti-imperialist, national democratic Filipino organizations across the world. And when Trump was elected, we saw increasing U.S. military presence in the Philippines, right? He was really vying for our homeland to be used for a launching pad for U.S. wars. He funded a violent regime under Rodrigo Duterte to the tune of $2 billion in weapons from war profiteers like Boeing and Lockheed Martin. And we see how connected the struggle here of working class people in the United States is to the working people of the Philippines, where, billions of our taxpayer dollars are being used for weapons, used for war and counterinsurgency against our people in our homeland, and at the same time, depriving our communities here of public health care, housing, education, food, and wages, right? So we're here.
Put her as the vice president candidate for the goddamn Hamas sisters. Okay, we got a better fucking electoral opportunity to win than corpse man Biden ever could propose. Yes, brothers, do we agree on this? Brothers, I put this motion to a vote. Does chat approve of this motion? So the ballot is Hamas sisters #1 and VP Communist Lady. VP Communist Lady with Hamas sisters. Approved. Aye. Motion passes. We are moving on to next motion.
To oppose another Trump presidency.
Do not come. Do not come.
Yeah. So I'm going to go over the barricade too. There's been a security perimeter set all around the convention center. So we have right now protesters going over the barricade. We have press going over the barricade.
My name is Susan Beadala, and I'm part of the No Line 5 coalition against the unbridged pipelines in northern Wisconsin.
There we go. We got one of our first senators. We got one of the first senators because too many young people in our coalition for the future elections. This is an older, lovely lady that's against the goddamn bloody pipelines, brothers. We must put her undervote as a potential senator. Do I get approvals of this motion? A motion is passed.
And across the upper Midwest near Lake
Sprinkle some lovely olds in there, exactly.
Superior. So I work with Native Non-Native Coalition. We're standing next to the Milwaukee River, which is closed down for the convention here. And there's a robotic submersible in our river. They've got a giant tear gas and chemical dispersal truck. I think of it more of, this is I know about Cop City. This is Cop City on steroids. This is Cop City happening right now.
Could you talk about how communities have been impacted by the militarization that has been brought by the RNC? We just went through 3 security checkpoints. How has that impacted communities here?
You know, it's kind of funny because they really advertise this as being good for business, right? But a lot of businesses are actually suffering. We're in a right-to-work state, so unfortunately a lot of folks don't have access to unions. These people are being told not to come to work for a whole week, which a lot of people
We
cannot
found not a potential senator, not a potential senator. Very good, brothers, very good.
afford to do. This brings up a lot of issues, right? That people need their paid time off, right? That, working class people should have been considered in this process, and they were not. And, the city basically rolled out the red carpet for the RNC.
Workers in Milwaukee are under attack! What do we do? Stand up, fight back! When workers are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back!
What's your message to Teamsters President Sean O'Brien, who is scheduled to speak at the RNC?
Guys, if you want to be part of the union, Trump is a known union buster. He wants to take away our collective bargaining rights, and the problem is that if he takes away those, we are down to not making good wages. We're down to not having
We have found another elderly gentleman to join our coalition.
safety at our job
No,
sites.
the Democrats and Republicans be like, yo, we got to run with these 2 candidates because we have no alternatives. Also, the most random, not random, it's a great protest, but choose any random protest anywhere in the U.S. and you will find people 10 times more eloquent, 10 times more charismatic, 50 times believing more in what they stand for and what they say, etc., etc. It's it's a bit of a cliche commentary, but it's the system proliferating people who do not have anything against the status quo, as we all know really well. This trade union guy will help us organize for 1917 Part 2. Yes, Ramka, thank you very much for the 100 bits. Absolutely.
We're down to somebody not caring enough about the American worker that's putting all this work into everything that we put in this country. My father was an iron worker for 45 years, always voted democratically. He taught me hey, this is what we believe in. Unions, you stay together, we're strong together.
I fucked up so hard. I fucked up so hard. I could have gotten my car license plate to be 1917. Fuck, that would have been cool. My car license plate should have been 1917.
Subscriber.
Son of a bitch of my son. Thank you very much, Proletarian Bunch, for subbing 3 months. Thank you very kindly, my beautiful child soldier. One of the OGs.
We'll fall.
We love some Proletarian Brunch up in here.
Voices from the protesters who marched outside the Republican National Convention Monday, part of a coalition of 100 active...
USSR vanity plate. Imagine that, dude.
Groups. Special thanks to Democracy Now! Producers on the streets, Messiah Rhodes, Maria Terracena, and Elias.
That would get me so much shit because I got a nice car. I drove the same car for 10 years. I drove it to 300,000 kilometers, okay? The poor fucking thing is dying, okay? And I'm not even selling it. I'm keeping it. I got a decent car. I will never tell you because I don't want to shoot my career in the fucking foot. But it would have been really funny to have a USSR vanity plate on it. That would be pretty based.
And Hani Massoud.
Okay, I didn't know about this, but Ben Shapiro went to talk to some old white guys.
Mr. Swalwell.
How did I miss this? 6 days ago. At today's House Judiciary Committee hearing, questioned Ben Shapiro about Project 2025. Oh, the Project 2025. Actually, that the new episode of the Deprogram is going to be on this, which, my hot take about it is... it's Project 2024 and 23 and 2006 and 2001. It's the Republican project for the United States, as it has always been, okay? The Republican Party is just the right wing of the the U.S. establishment. The Democrats just being right wing. The Republicans are the right wing of the right wing, which want to... not step over the homeless as the Democrats want, but instead shoot them in the head and put them in a concentration camp. That's Project 2025. But let's hear Ben Shabibo. Ben Shabibo, our favorite big biceps, never gets his wife wet as P-word man, talking in front of an important cabinet of white American men.
Thank you. Mr. Shapiro.
Please, mods, adjust the titles accordingly. I love you very much, but you have not been doing that, and I will spank you in the butt. I will spank you many times in the butt.
Thank you for joining.
I'm kidding. No, actually, you were doing a great job. I just noticed that.
Joining us today. I think it is...
Kubashi, you piece of shit. The hot sister haver. Oh, that's a bit misogynist, but it's fucking hilarious. I'm sorry. Referring to Ben Shapiro as the hot sister haver might be like the one thing that triggers him the most, probably. The one thing that probably triggers him the most. Thank you very much, Honor Charlie Marks, for the 5 gifted subs as well. Very base. Thank you very much, Honor Charlie, which has started a beautiful, beautiful hype train. And Honor Charlie Marks, you are the first anarchist that is given a rank of Uber Gunner Sturmführer of the great Gunner army we are building. So very based, very nice. And also when it comes to our generals packing up the train, as we all know, if we'll reach level 5 of the hype train, it will become so fast, it will travel back through time, it will find the Trump shooter, and it will tell him to aim 5 millimeters to the right. Okay? So depending on whether you would want to do that or not, you can become a sub for $5 a month or for free through Prime, or gift to somebody less privileged than you, or watch the ad that is going to play in 3 minutes 20 seconds. So time travel or ads about chicken nuggets. The choice is yours.
Important that you're here as one of the leading conservative voices in the country. And the country has, in the last couple of weeks, talked a lot about and Googled
I love when the country talks. I love when the country talks and when the country Googles.
Project 2025. It's one of the most Googled search terms right now. And you're not going to get any censorship from me. So I just wanted to know, from your perspective, I think it would help us understand on just like a scale of 0 to 100.
Give shit to the hot sister haver as much shit as you want, okay? But this man has elevated the YouTuber and the streamer to incredible heights. Would you have imagined in 2015 a guy who started his career on owning SJW Purple Hair Feminist Part 786 being the guy that gets called up to talk about Project 2025 with mainstream American politicians and jurors? No. So thank you very much for serving our online content creator class so fervently. You beautiful, beautiful hot sister haver. Thank you very much.
100%. how much do you support Project 2025?
I think, like President Trump, I haven't looked all that deeply at Project 2025, but it seems that Democrats on this committee, sort of like Peter Pan and Tinkerbell, if they say Project 2025 enough, their presidential candidate becomes alive again.
And so, well, let's just talk about pieces of it, and I guess you can tell me if you support it. You probably want less bureaucracy.
That was pretty funny.
Right?
I do.
I want less bureaucracy. You want more efficiency.
I do.
I want
more efficiency, a word that means nothing, okay? Say what you're going to do, more digitalization of bureaucratic processes, more digitalization of certain positions that were previously filled by bureaucrats, the increase in salaries for bureaucrats so that they're faster while, eliminating certain positions that are no longer necessary, etc. Now, we want more efficiency and less bureaucracy. Words that mean nothing. Please vote for me.
More efficiency. You want taxpayer money spent wisely?
I do. Congrats on becoming a Republican.
I love me mentioning Ben Shapiro's sister so many times as a joke, and half of chat is like gooning right now. Like, literally, the comments are... Damn, now I'm just thinking about his sister's absolute jumbo yum-yums. Great fucking work. Ben has a complex about his friends wanting to bonk his sister growing up. Probably his Joker origin. Bravo, chat. I'm very proud of you. You are all together, you are 12. Brilliant. Thank you, Romka, for the 100 bits. Very close to level 3 hype train, baby. Choo-choo, motherfucker. Lenin said that if you don't want bureaucracy, then everyone has to be doing a bit of bureaucracy. Haha, that's pretty funny. That is actually pretty funny.
Yeah. My parents would be proud. Mass deportations, it calls for that. Do you support that part?
I support the deportation of any illegal immigrant who is in the United States who is not of benefit to the generalized American public.
That is actually incredibly that is radical. That is unironically radical and extremely fucked up. Would be very bad. But I argue that the status quo would not really push this for the simple reason of the entire American economy being basically kept afloat by a hyper-exploited versus the normally exploited registered working class people, a hyper-exploited class of unregistered proletarians in the country. So America, ironically, can't really afford to kick all of them out because it would go bankrupt.
So if they're picking agriculture that puts food on the tables of everyday Americans, they've never committed a crime inside the United States, they didn't come across with documents, should they be deported?
If they have not paid taxes and if their draw on the taxpayer benefits are larger than the contribution they are making.
Now you care about paying taxes? Oh, our favorite libertarian tax lover, who not hypocritical at all. I feel cliche for even bringing this shit up, but it's too easy. Too fucking easy, my day is today. Give me something better, you hot sister haver. Dum 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 da dum dum da 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 dum 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 da dum.
The economy, or if they're involved in criminal activity, they should be deported.
How do we measure that?
The same way that the IRS measures my income every year. It seems like if the IRS can track down every...
Gummy worm socks. I only watch Hassan. They recommended me you. Really? Hassan recommended me. Thank you very much, Hassan. Thank you very much. I watch and like Hassan as well. Partially an inspiration for me to start streaming. Funny enough, when Hassan came on the Deep program, and look out, he's going to be coming to the Deep program in a couple of months where we have something in the works. He quite literally said, if I could go back and be anonymous while I do everything that I do, I would. And internal Yugopnik lore, that's what really inspired me wearing the mask and shit. Because obviously I didn't want to go down the path of having a fucking anime avatar move around on screen. Like, what the fuck? I touch grass and have a girlfriend. I'm not doing that. But, and the mask is semi-LARPy. I know, it sucks. It sucks. Especially knowing just how fucking handsome I am under this thing, okay? But,
Wonderful.
But I really appreciate the anonymity. And especially living in the part of the world where I live, I would prefer not to be stabbed repeatedly by a knifey knife in my gutty gut. So this anonymous thing will continue. And I
Wonderful.
guess
A
to an
new
extent
child
is going to
soldier,
become an
subscriber.
aesthetic on its own, which to an extent differentiates me aesthetically from other people. Balkan Ottoman supremacy, absolutely, baby. Hassan gives me shit for all us Balkans being Turkish originally. Well, Turkey is Balkan as well. Okay, you heard it here. Thank you very much, Scream. Oh, wait, for the gifted sub very much. Ain't nobody watching ads up in this motherfucker. And thank you, Ben Pish, for resubscribing for 6 months. That is very, very kind of you. Thank you very, very much.
Aspect of every receipt that I've ever submitted.
You do realize we can see you. I know, but like, this is not actually me. You're new here, aren't you? This is a paid actor, okay? The actual Yugopnik is standing like right over there, and he's talking into a microphone. This is a turned off microphone. I just hired this actor, this guy, to like move around. I am actually JT. Hakeem is also actually JT. Hassan is also actually JT. Everyone is actually second thought. Okay? And we work for the FBI. Anyways.
And so they can do so for hundreds of millions of other Americans reported.
How do we measure that?
The same way that the IRS measures my income every year. It seems like if the IRS can track down every aspect of every receipt that I've ever submitted, and
so
they can do so for hundreds of millions of other Americans, they can do that for illegal immigrants as well, except for the fact that no one knows how many are in the country thanks to this administration.
So you would be cool with creating a system where they could pay those taxes if they wanted to and then stay and work and put food on our table?
It depends on how long it would take for them to pay the taxes, and they would also have to go presumably to the back of the line, although I'm not sure why I'm testifying about immigration policy at this point.
Ad starts in exactly 10 seconds. By the way, if you would like to support the channel and not watch those pesky, disgusting fucking things, do consider becoming a $5 a month or free through Prime subscriber. Thank you.
How about banning the abortion pill? That's part of Project 2025. Do you support that part?
I think that that's a state-by-state issue on a personal level.
I'm just asking you.
Sure, I'm a fully pro-life person, which means that I'm not in favor of the distribution of the abortion pill.
Banning same-sex marriage. What about that part?
I am in favor of traditional marriage between a man and a woman.
Thank you very much, Horse Beef, for the 2 gifted subs. This is the 9th gifted sub. You have personally created 9 child soldiers for the great Yugopnik Gunnar Jezreel State. Thank you very, very much. Wait, I missed the hot sister haver, what he said. I missed, sorry.
Those taxes if they wanted to and then stay and work and put food on our table.
It depends on how long it would take for them to pay the taxes, and they would also have to go presumably to the back of the line, although I'm not sure why I'm testifying about immigration policy at this point.
How about banning the abortion pill? That's part of Project.
So, because he's hyper focusing on the illegal immigrants, even though 1,000,000,000% this guy is also against traditional immigration, which, you know, quote unquote, goes through all the legal proceedings because he believes in great replacement theory.
2025. Do you support that part?
I think that that's a state-by-state issue on a personal level.
I'm just asking you.
Sure, I'm a fully.
He only believes it's a state-by-state issue because currently there are states pushing it forward that the federal government can't really do much about. That is why he believes it's a state-by-state issue. If there was absolutely no state inside of the federal United States system, he would not call for it being a states' rights issue. Okay, I think this is obvious, but still, I got to say it out loud.
Pro-life person, which means that I'm not in favor of the distribution of the abortion pill.
Banning same-sex marriage. What about that part?
I am in favor of traditional marriage between a man and a woman, and I'm perfectly fine with anyone having any sort of voluntary sexual arrangement they seek. That's a different thing from whether the government should attach benefits to that personal relationship.
But you think it's a sin?
Okay, so disgusting, fucked up, homophobe. Lovely. We love those. Hot sister haver.
And to have same-sex marriage.
I mean, I'm confused. Are you asking?
Chad, I'm a bit confused. Can someone tell me why this guy is being questioned about Project 2025? Because finally the United States government has realized that the greatest influencers of policy, of mentality, of ideology of the entire world is the most underrepresented and underrespected, and yet the greatest and most powerful class of human beings in the world, and that is people who post things online and talk into microphones. Now that they have understood this very real fact, they are finally, and I do mean finally, giving us the respect we deserve. And I thank Comrade Ben Shapiro for being at the forefront of pushing forward this incredible revolution of content creators being the true elites secretly governing the world. Okay? Nah, it's because, I don't know, he's a famous conservative, and they think he can kind of talk in the name of all more quote-unquote radical conservatives. That's it.
Ask me as a religious Jew what I think about biblically.
I'm just asking.
So yeah, you're welcome to clip what I just said. I completely stand behind it, okay? Like, unironically, I'm sorry. Not me. I'm a fucking, drop in the bucket for now. But very large YouTube channels, streamers like Second Thought, like Hassan, etc., on the left, or like Ben Shapiro, Jordan Peterson, etc., are far more influential, especially on towards the 35 and under demographic than any fucking MSNBC or Fox channel can hope to be in a million years. Okay. Because they actually create radicals. They create individuals who act on their newly acquired radical beliefs, while quote unquote mainstream or traditional media or whatever you want to call them, those guys are a dying breed. Okay, that's why Ben Shapiro made the Daily Wire, etc., because he wants to replace them, but still keep that online and more radical and quote-unquote free speech aspect of his model. Yeah, that's why very scary, very bad.
Is it a sin to be gay?
Is it a sin to be gay? I mean, how long do we have here? 2 minutes? I mean, if the basic idea is that sexual orientation is up for government regulation, I'm not in favor of the government regulating the private consenting sexual activity of adults. That is a different thing, once again, from whether the government ought to engage in actual...
Nah, he's... My boy, you are defining... My friend, your argument for why gay equal bad... Let me talk in words Republicans can understand. Your argument that gay equal bad comes from math equation in old book. Old books say gay equal bad, therefore you think gay equal bad. Then why government should look at old book and say if gay equal bad or gay equal good? I mean, a guy who based his whole fucking career on facts over feelings, sitting up in here with a fucking yarmulke talking to me about old books that should tell me if I get to rail my bro or not is not really facts, my friend, but okay.
Benefits for particular sexual arrangements that adults make.
But again, just you to me, is it a sin or not?
From a religious Jewish perspective, orientation is not a sin, but activity is. That's also the same perspective of most major religions, so far as I'm aware.
Okay.
Okay, all major religions, and that is an argument that we should all agree that gay bad. I've talked about this like 7 billion times, dude.
How about...
How long you typically stream for? Like 4 hours, 5? I want to stream for like 7. I want to stream for like 4 times a week. I just got to raise this to be sustainable enough so they put literally more time into it than in my fucking YouTube channel. And eventually this completely takes over it, etc. But, that takes money and time and effort, etc. And I have a, let's call it, very, very fulfilling personal life, which I will slowly need to, butchering. But I'm still riding the high of having quit my corporate career and having more free time. And, that kind of fucks with the ability to self-organize and stream more often. That and the insane time zone difference. Like, it's fucked up. Like, I can't, wake up and do it like a normal working day, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I would love to do that. I got to start streaming at 6, 7 p.m. And then if I stream for 6 hours, for example, start at 6, I end at midnight. It's
Social Security. Do you support that part of 2025?
I'm not sure what Project 2025...
Yana Gibashi, request you stream earlier. You being one of my biggest Oilers here, I must salute immediately, okay? I'll try earlier as well.
25.
Skill issue. Yeah, grandpa needs sleep. Time zones. Eat my ass, chat. I love you. Mwah. I mean, it's true. It's true. I'm giving myself excuses. Let's be fucking honest here, okay? I request you stream 24/7. Where do you live? The Balkan Peninsula, my friend, okay? Southern Central Europe, if you haven't heard of it. Literally the center of the world. The most important place ever invented by the Lord, okay? Where the first humans come from, also known as aliens that have landed here and that have repopulated the rest of the world, okay?
This position on Social Security is, I'm in favor of the restructuring of Social Security along the lines of privatization and lowering and increasing the retirement age, because you, as well as every other congressperson, knows Social Security is going to go bankrupt, and yet everyone seems to have an interest.
Oh, now we care about Social Security.
Okay. And how about cutting Social Security? Do you support that part of 2025?
I'm not sure what Project 2025's position on Social Security is. I'm in favor of the restructuring of Social Security along the lines of privatization and lowering and increasing the retirement age, because you, as well as every other congressperson, knows Social Security is going to go bankrupt, and yet everyone seems to have an interest in lying about it for the next decade and a half until we have to take austerity measures or radically increase inflation or taxes.
And bans against books about slavery. Do you support that part about?
Why would I possibly be in favor of bans about books about slavery? That would be absolutely ridiculous. What I am in favor of is the idea that school libraries should be able to make decisions along the lines of what exactly is appropriate for, say, a 7th grader and whether they ought to be treated to cartoons and genderqueer. That's not quite the same thing.
Sir, do you not want our children? Do you not want our children to engage in critical race theory, also known as learning that racism bad and slavery happened and many natives dead? I don't know what you're talking about. I don't want my kids to become trans aliens. Next question, please. The guy doesn't even doesn't counteract even for a second. He's like, yes, I love your work. Please, I'm a subscriber. I'm a subscriber. I donate to you on Patreon, Ben. Please, whip out that non-wetness inducing cock right now. I want to saliva it on national frequency. Okay, bro?
Just because we found some receipts. You did say, I think homosexual activity is a sin.
Yes, I'm a religious Jew.
Sure,
that's true.
There's a genetic component.
You found me out.
Orientation. But the view of all religious people I know has always been that sexual behavior is something that is up to you. And you said, I may have a desire.
Ben loves to debate his wife's libido. You call Ben's sister hot, and he's like, well, see here, I'm going to explain to you exactly why under the presupposition that comes from the 17th passage of the Torah, actually women with big boobas are not actually attractive. Therefore, my sister is not attractive, and you do not get to goon to her, okay?
Desire to sleep with many women.
Actually.
But I do not.
I agree with me. Yes, that's true.
Congratulations on your, I'm sure it's very hard to restrain yourself. Mr. Chairman, I just want to shift to Alvin Bragg. He was supposed to be here this week, and he's not coming. And Hunter Biden was supposed to testify. Now he's not testifying. We were supposed to have votes on articles of impeachment, and we didn't. And again, we're just wondering, you guys write great press releases, but the payoff seems to never come. And so I guess we will keep waiting, and we'll do hearings like this. And finally, Chairman, you cannot yell fire in a crowded theater, and that's a restriction on speech, as you have recognized before, but you can yell theater in a crowded fire, and you all can continue to do that all you want, and we'll just waste the American people's time.
Gentleman's time has expired, and I remind him of the first rule of holes. When you're in one, stop.
So that was the...
Chair recognizes Ms.
Okay. Ben Shapiro said nothing. Was just Ben Shapiro. Everybody was like, I fucking love it. And let's check out the comments, actually. Most likely it's, I'm a religious Jew. You found me out. I agree with me. Ha. He's so funny. I love him. My wife also doesn't come. Ha. He has zero issues asking the questions to a religious Jew, but wouldn't dare ask a Muslim the same question. love YouTube comments, man. I fucking love YouTube comments. Is it a sin to be gay? Isn't this a hearing about the tech industry? No, it's not a hearing about the tech industry. What the fuck? Why in the world are Congress wasting tax dollars on these hearings? What's the purpose of this? That's a good question. I don't even understand what Swalwell is trying to accomplish here beyond making himself look absolutely foolish. He is another... In another life, this gentleman used to be a purple-haired SJW feminist. But in 2016, Ben Shapiro literally murdered him with his comments. Now he has returned as a politician to exact revenge on the hot sister Haver. Okay. Swavell is pretty good at embarrassing himself. Swavell were in Terry, wanted to challenge Ben Shapiro in a debate. Oh my God, look at the dick sucking. Look at the... Oh, la 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 la. How dare you debate my Lord and Savior hot sister Haver, Ben Shapiro? Okay, I'm sorry, I can't remember the exact name of the chatter, but now it's embedded in my head. I will forever refer to Ben Shapiro from this moment on as the hot sister Haver. And is it a bit misogynist? Probably. Is it very funny though? And will I proceed to do it? Abso-fucking-lutely. Oh, Kubashi, that was you. Yes, thank you, Kubashi. Also an OG here in chat. I will proceed to do this forever. Do I have the seal of approval? Okay. Anyways. Let's continue with some chud watching by our favorite Fox News, even though you cannot expect me to be defending Biden. Just this title is so clickbaity, I had to click. Biden snaps. There you go. Oh, snaps during sit-down interview. Where have you been? Whatever that's supposed to mean. Let's see. Toasty Android. It's not even misogyny. He could also be a hot brother Haver, but it happens to be that it's his sister that's hot. Right? Exactly. The tolerant left. Yeah. Okay. We're done with the hot sister Haver. Now let's move on to these guys.
That was
By the way, why wasn't Melania here? Where's my Slavic sister? Okay, I'm actually related to Melania Trump. Okay, that is why I will proceed to make the kid Trump into a communist, and that's how we take over the country. But because she hates her husband, she's right there. No, that's not Melania. That's not Melania. The fuck you talking about? I know. Part Slovenian. No, I'm Balkan Slavic. We're all the fucking same. Slovenian, Serbian, Croatian, that's just fucking invented words, okay? We're all the same. Who's that then? I don't know. Some fucking lady. Why does Melania simply not just eat Donald Jr.'s wife? Kimberly Guilfoyle. Gavin Newsom's ex? Whoa, it's crazy. They must make the weirdest looking children, dude. Gavin Newsom's ex, God, these fucking children look like spaceships, dude.
Moment former President Trump came on, shook J.D. Vance's hand together on stage, first time as running mates. Vance is 39, freshman senator, been on the job about 2 years, seen as someone who can help cement Trump's legacy long term. Brett Baer's with us now, and good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
We did not have Lee Greenwood live on the schedule last night, so that was a bit of a surprise.
By the way, the little riffing in between, had a
it was nice.
Little song and then riff. And
well, one thing Dana and I were talking about, the house band's actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, they're really good.
Especially for a convention, they are excellent.
I like them.
So
I can't wait till tonight.
Here's Vance on his upbringing from last.
I love the bands when they sing about God and country. I love the band that was actually playing yesterday as the RNC was starting. Was literally like the lyrics were, I love being an American. I love the freedom that I get because soldiers are sacrificing themselves. I don't know about you, but that sounded like a fucking death cult. Like, we love taking our children and sacrificing them to the God of war so that we may continue living in this peace that the God of war hath given us. All hail Kratos. Like the speech from Tucker on J.D. Vance. We watched that earlier. We literally watched the whole thing earlier. If you wanna, maybe we'll check out the interview part of it later. But yeah, Redfill, you came in early. You came in late, brother. We already looked at our Lord and Savior Tucker Carlson. Blood for the blood god. Blood for the blood god. I love when servicemen die. I just love when servicemen die for my freedom in my country. By the way, congratulations, chat, to 14,000 followers. Very great, very nice, very good. Thank you very much. Look, MacBooks allow me to do this. Oh my God. No, seriously, thank you very much, chat. Would be absolutely impossible without you. I love you very much, ka. Very much, ka.
Let's get to this right now.
I grew up in a poor family. I remember when my grandmother, who raised me, she used to negotiate with the Meals on Wheels people to give her additional food.
And that is why I grew up into a disgusting class trader who, instead of remembering his working class roots and the struggles of working class people such as unionists, which were his fucking grandparents, okay? People who were fans of FDR's New Deal, people who were fans of unions as well, instead of remembering the place I come from and seeing all those working class families struggle because of the system. No, I refuse to do so. I will go to Yale. I will then convince myself that all my accomplishments are 100% thanks to me, myself, and I being absolutely fucking brilliant, and therefore will think that absolutely everybody else can lift themselves by the bootstraps. But something will still irk me. Something will still itch and at the bottom of my soul that something's not right because of that long period of time when I lived in a poverty-stricken area. And I will have to find a way to explain away those problems to myself. That is when my Lord and Savior Peter Thiel shows up together with my now instilled bourgeois mentality, because now I'm a wealthy man, and I will redirect this very human moral compass that is telling me that it is the system which is the problem, and redirect that at why black people at college, why immigrants steal job, and why trans women exist, ? And that, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs, is the vice president right there. At least that is the conclusions we have reached on this beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you. I'm Epic 777 for the sub with Prime. Thank you very much. Welcome, my beautiful child soldier, to the community. And thank you, Sejong Simp, for the 3rd month sub. Thank you kindly.
She could feed me. How does a family like that deal with Joe Biden?
The mold sea leftist. My mother had to have Meals on Wheels, so I'm removing it because it's embarrassing for poor people.
It's grocery price inflation. How does a family like that deal with gasoline and energy price inflation? It's gotten more expensive just to live a good life in this country. Donald Trump and I want to make that.
We want to instill incredible market reforms where we will nationalize oil production. We will nationalize mass industry. We will bring back jobs by completely stopping outsourcing because it will no longer be led by the capitalist profit motive. Yeah, he's not going to say that. Sorry for the good old what do you call it? Spoiler for the spoiler, yeah.
Better, and we have policies to make it better. Democrats have lies and distortions.
Okay, nothing like a 20-minute heads up before you get the big notice.
Yeah, exactly.
How's he going to do?
Listen, his story is really interesting. His upbringing, obviously, in a poor Appalachian community.
What's the Americans in chat? What's the word for class traders? Like the guys that cross the picket line, but not like you have, what was it? Uncle Joe or Uncle Scabs, pigs. Okay. But like even more intense. I need something even more intense than a scab, because this guy's never been union related, right? Uncle Tom is the racial one, right? So Uncle Thomas, maybe, yeah, like a trader of the white working class, right? A trader of the white working class, because he's that. So Uncle Thomas, maybe, what? Rat bastard, rat fucker. Uncle Chad. Yeah, Uncle Chad is, but Chad makes him sound good. Just rat fucker. You guys really like rat fucker. Whoa. Uncle Chud. Or Uncle Cuckus. Uncle Cuckus. Uncle Gary. Uncle Cuckus or Uncle Chud? Okay, vote. Who wants Uncle Chud and who wants Uncle Cuckus? Write either or. Turncoat isn't bad, yeah. Uncle Rat Fucker. This is Cuckus. Rat Fucker. Cuckus. Uncle Cuckus, Uncle Chud, Cuckus. Chud is great. I guess like cuck would be censored in most places. So Chud is like a better slogan, you know? You can put it on flags. You can put it on banners, right? So let's go with Uncle Chud. Not Chad, Uncle Chud. Uncle Chud. Oh, there's a poll. Let me see the poll. Chud is winning 5-1. Thank you very much, John Talk, for the sub with Prime. Welcome, my beautiful child soldier, to the great army gooning away against Uncle Chuds. Okay, Chud is winning still. Chud is dominating. Yeah, Chud. I believe it shall be Chud. 65% for Chud. Cuckus at 35%. 67% Chud. 68% Chud. Okay, Uncle Chud it is. From this day onwards, we're calling him Uncle Chud. So today we learned that we refer to Ben Shapiro as hot sister haver, and to white working class traders as Uncle Chuds. Most excellent. Today, many things have been achieved at YugopnikTwitch. Many things have been achieved. Okay, let's go back.
Goes on to school. Lawyer, Marine, is accomplished. His wife clerked for Supreme Court Justice John Roberts, the highest of the hierarchy.
Toast the android. My Chud, my Cuckus, my June.
Of clerks in the Supreme Court. She is very accomplished lawyer, 3 kids. He really identifies with Rust Belt blue-collar workers. And I think they're just going to stick him on a bus in Pennsylvania and all those states, Michigan, Wisconsin, and then they're going to go back to Pennsylvania, and then they're going to go back to Pennsylvania. And
him at this point with his policies identifying with white working class Rust Belt Americans is like me really identifying with black working class women from Minnesota. Like dude, you have nothing to do with that whatsoever. But as we all know, when you're white, it's allowed.
And I actually think that he is...
As we all know, it only matters where you come from, not actually how you propose helping those people.
Going to help in that aspect of it. There were some concerns.
I identify with North Korean factory workers, okay? For American right-wing chuds all the time talking shit about trans people and making the cringiest fucking jokes of all time. They're really okay with people identifying with classes that they really, really do not belong to, okay?
Obviously about some of the things he said before, but he's gone from never Trumper to full-on Trumper, and how this relationship evolved is really interesting. I think the former president trusts him.
And the youth and vigor is going to be part of the invigorating moment of the whole day.
Yeah, it's really interesting because, again, it's the consequence of why so many white working class American men support Trump in the first place. They see that there's something wrong. They see the status quo is not doing absolutely anything to fix it. They're looking for a solution. Unfortunately, they do not have class consciousness, which is, again, for those new here in chat, it's understanding that your bosses, owners of companies, de facto exploit you and don't pay you the full value of what you actually create, and that the system, through introducing the profit motive is the only thing that matters, is slowly strangling working class families, right? Because they do not understand this. That can happen for many different reasons. They need to find another answer. And guys like this come and they're like, I don't know, trans people in toilets and immigrants, and it clicks, I guess, because you don't have class consciousness.
The moment last night, but I certainly think somebody wrote that President Trump upstaged him. I'm like, well, yeah, obviously that was always going to be the case,
sure.
And it probably should be the case, right? Exactly. Right. I do want to show you this. It's a montage of some of the media ripping.
Gay Lennon. Sorry for this mild off topic, but it's interesting. Mildly off topic, but do you know about the fake pyramid in Bosnia that Bosnian nationalists and the government insist is real, but it's really just a mountain that kind of looks like a pyramid from some angles? They've even taken money from the National Museum, which has closed due to underfunding post-war, to excavate. Yeah, I know about it. My mom went there, and she's like, the energy inside is absolutely crazy. And my mom is the sweetest human being of all time, but It's a mountain that kind of looks like a pyramid. Let them have fun. You know, it's fucked that they're taking money from real museums and, you know, that they're doing quasi-science. But it's a pyramid mountain. I guess it's an interesting thing to see. Not humans have to make it. So what I would say is like pitch it and make it like a tourist destination, but just call it like a mountain that looks like a pyramid. Don't call it like, oh, humans made this, but like 1 billion years ago, and now, you know, it's like covered in forest. And we think it was Bosnians. Like, I know it's this like the we was thing is racist as shit, but I'm a Balkan guy, so I can make fun of my favorite Balkan guy, my fellow Balkanoids, right? Bosnians be like, we was Egyptians and shit. Sorry, it was just too perfect, I had to say. I'm pyramid pilled. How do we know it was humans? Exactly.
JD Vance, so the unity didn't last too long.
Us Bosnians, we built the pyramids.
Be consequential for the world, even.
One guy was even like, it's Muslim pyramids. It's like this is like crazy shit. It's like really good. Like it's
even before we have the election.
He's unqualified. It's a singular issue.
He is now picking a vice president who has pledged 100% loyalty to the cult of Donald Trump.
He would never stand for the Constitution before he would stand for Donald Trump.
If Senator Vance assumed the presidency, say in the short term, in the next year or two, he would be one of both the least experienced and youngest presidents ever.
And the coffee wasn't even cold.
Yeah. Yugopnik being a product of a crystal mommy somehow explains everything and nothing at the same time. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. I'm the perfect blend between like a hustler, borderline gangster, and crystal mommy. Like I get the two greatest like extremes of two human beings melted into one upbringing. Okay? That's how you build a communist, brother. And a communist grandpa, of course.
It didn't last. That whole unity thing didn't last. You know, remember all the experience questions about Barack Obama when he becomes the nominee? I don't think I heard a lot of that. Nope. And, you know, those people are not Marines either who volunteered after 9/11. So there's a lot here that'll be vetted.
Equals political streamer LMAO. Yeah, it's that. Tycho, I'll give you that.
I know a lot about his hometown where he grew up, Middletown, Ohio, so I'll share that with you a bit later and give you a sense of where he comes from. In the meantime, Joe Biden did an interview, and we're going to see him again today. Here he is with Lester Holt, with some people thought.
Yeah, it just took you 70% of the video for you to get to the actual thing that is in the goddamn fucking title, you chud fucks.
It's combative. I'll let you decide. Watch it.
Obama put out a statement after the debate, but should he and
Hugo, I'll realign your energies and break your legs if you steal my booze.
Michelle Obama be doing more to
in gulags under Chairman Yugopnik will just be like crystal healing, like just crystal healing. But not like, don't make fun of my mom. My mom is literally one of the nicest human beings on the planet. She's actually quite wise, quite smart, quite chill, extremely chill. Maybe the chillest person I've ever met. But yeah, crystals. They don't hurt anybody, I guess, you know?
express their confidence in you?
No, they're helping me. They've helped me from the beginning. This is my job to get this done.
Have you talked to him recently about this?
I haven't talked to him in a couple weeks. I'm on the horse. Where have you been? I don't need teleprompter. I can go out and answer any questions at all. Sometimes come and talk to him about what we should be talking about.
All right.
Okay, the issues.
That was at the end of the interview, by the way. So slid one hit in there at the end. It appears to me that he and Obama have not spoken since the debate.
It also appears that he hasn't watched the full debate. Mm-hmm. He said, again, he was asked whether he watched the debate, and he said only clips. Listen, I'm not sure these interviews are helping him. I really don't. Now, that said, I hope he comes on Special Report or here on America's Newsroom. He's invited. Mr. President, we'd love to have you. But I'm not sure that this is, working on their effort to try to quell the upset in the Democratic Party. And we have a long way to go before the Democratic Convention. A lot can happen. There's still...
Let's continue
That's
with
right.
Chud Watch.
Joe Biden was snapping repeatedly at Lester Holt. He had this interview on NBC. We knew that this was going to happen, and Lester Holt asked him about what was the word he used. He used the bullseye comment, and the president.
Oh my God!
Was
He
remorseful
said a
for actually
word.
using that word. Listen.
He said a word that is relatively similar to an aim down sights of a firearm, and Americans only care about aesthetics in their election cycle. But now, everything has been overturned because Orange Man, who bad, is also president who shot. And president who shot is someone who we all must unite behind. For no shooty president should be allowed in our country. Even when literally do cause mass murder of children across the pond, we must remain vigilant and remain, quote unquote, civilized. So, optics, okay? But now, it must be the worst time ever to be a let's go back to brunch American liberal, because neither of them are good optics. Okay, you base your whole political ideology on who is better optics, so we go back to brunch. And now both candidates are in good optics. Not a great day for the American white liberal. Now there are two orange men, but one orange man may be shot. Okay, and he raised fist really strong, and flag fly behind him. Me feel very inspired. America stay strong and not fear attack by gunman. I now vote. Orange man is indeed bad.
Well, it's not unusual. He's going to surround himself with people who agree with completely.
But not bad enough to shoot him.
Have a voting record. I support him. Even though if you go back and listen to the things that J.D. Vance said about Trump.
Well, he said some things about you, yeah.
Oh, no, well, he said something about me, but see what he said about Trump. What's with you guys? Come on, man.
You called your opponent an existential threat on a call a week ago. You said it's time to put Trump in the bullseye. There's some dispute about the context, but I think you appreciate that
I didn't say crosshairs. I was talking about focus on. Look, the truth of the matter was what I guess I was talking about.
Can't believe I'm agreeing with Biden on something. Hey, Biden, did you literally murder? Did you literally murder Trump? Because you used the word bullseye. Optics. Wir müssen vor dem Optics alles tun.
At the time, there was very little focus on Trump's agenda.
Yeah, the term is bullseye.
It was a mistake to use the word. I didn't say crosshairs. I meant bullseye. I meant focus on him. Focus on what he's doing.
I don't know why the DNC wants to lose. Like, the DNC messaging across the board should be a man who has, alongside his supporters, encouraged January 6 Charleston riots, the kidnapping of a governor, and seen a triple-digit percentage increase in violent hate crimes, is no right to complain when the chickens of his unmerited hatred and encouragement of stochastic terrorism come home to root. But instead, they're basically telling him to get well soon. Yes, because, again, like, beautifully put, beautifully. You should be the one behind the microphone, gay Lennon, especially because you're Lennon and you're gay. But again, Americans only care about optics. That's it. And the optic of saying something that 100% of the RNC, of the DNC, establishment actually believes, they cannot say. And what you just said is what most of them believe, okay? But the only ones actually saying it is communists, pretty much. And nobody cares about what the communists say.
I'm going to debate him when we agreed to debate, and I'm going to debate him in September.
But if the opportunity came up to do one between now and then, is there a sense of wanting to get back on the horse?
I'm on the horse. Where have you been?
All right.
Yeehaw, baby! Yeah, brother! Brother Biden's on the goddamn horse, friends!
Mr. President, it's always good to talk to you, good to see you. Thank you for making some time for us.
Sometimes come and talk to me about what we should be talking about.
And of course, but Joe,
I don't want to be talking about that presidential assassination, okay? That's not the topic I want to be talking about. It's not very important. He knows he's so, like... I wonder I wonder if the corpse has enough mental capacity to understand just how cooked he is, or if he's like surrounded by enough yes men to think he can potentially still win. I genuinely wonder. What do you think, chat? I genuinely wonder.
Biden wanted to
out of control.
What Joe Biden wanted to talk about was Donald Trump. Back and forth, back and forth. At least I didn't say crosshairs. Katie Pavlich is joining us live here at the RNC. Katie, what did you make of the damage control that Joe...
Do you think the DNC is giving up because Trump is now backed by Silicon Valley and the interest between the elite of the Democratic Party, most of the party, and the Republicans agree? They always mostly agree. And we haven't seen the Silicon Valley fully switch to Republicans. We've seen Elon Musk, Thiel, and so on back in the day. So I don't think that's the reason. But does the majority of the leadership of the DNC at this point understand that they're completely cooked? And are they going to reposition themselves accordingly, meaning, preparing to say that they were never really pro-Biden? Yes, most definitely. They might be disgusting demons, right? But they're not stupid. So I think it's not even yes man. I think he's got the American movie mentality that and I can do anything because I'm America, God damn it. Yeah, brother. The DNC does not exist in opposition of the RNC, but rather to whitewash the rhetoric of the Republicans. That's well put. An even easier way to put it is how I put it is the Republican Party is the right wing of the American right wing, right? The Democratic Party is the American right wing. The Republican Party is the right wing of that right wing.
What Biden was trying to do last night on NBC.
Speaking of right wings, Twitch always gives you horrible options. One is losing $5 a month, or nothing if you're with Prime, but then you're paying for Prime. But the other, I would argue, much worse option than Hitler 1, which is $5 a month, is Hitler 2, which is probably Hitler X2, which is watching ads, which will play in exactly 30 seconds. So choose, just like the American people will choose on election day, between Hitler 1 and Hitler 2, between Yugopnik Hitler and Ad Hitler. The choice is yours. Vote with your money. Thank you very much. Ad plays in 10 seconds.
Well, I think
that was not about. That was a 7 out of 10. Come on, give me more. Jesus Christ, that was pretty decent. Now it's $6. Jesus, I gotta change it. $6. $6 doesn't flow off the tongue as well,
Overall, the president and his party, their calls for unity and toning down the temperature lasted about 12 hours.
What about ad block Hitler? That's like getting class consciousness in the Twitch sphere. We do not talk about that, okay? Here there are only two options.
Wonderful.
You see, Taikon Tall knows that. Thank you very much, my beautiful child soldier, for joining and subscribing.
The president clearly used the Oval Office for political purposes, not to really bring the country together. And I think the bigger issue than him
Imagine not using the Oval Office for political purposes. What other purpose can you use the Oval Office for? To fuck Jill, which he most likely always does. But at this point, he is so cooked that even if he whipped out his massive fucking Joe Biden cock, he would not win. So
a term like bullseye is the fact that he is not at all willing to hold anybody accountable for what happened. You had Mayorkas yesterday, the Homeland Security Secretary, going out for the first press conference at the White House since this happened, saying he has 100% confidence in the Secret Service. And it's just, and the president has the ability to hold people accountable for what happened, and he's not doing it. And there's another thing in a long list of catastrophic.
Oh yeah, let's hold the people doing their job protecting presidents accountable. Okay, thank you very much, Zelenk02, for the subscription. Welcome, my beautiful child soldier. Thank you very kindly.
Failures.
You have chosen Hitler 1 very wisely.
Afghanistan, the Secretary of Defense disappearing for weeks at a time without telling any.
Malrish, I'm going to say it, he's not old. He's just constantly come high from blowing out Jill's back walls every 45 minutes. Should we start referring to him as hot wife haver?
And then, of course, the former president almost being killed over the weekend. There's a lot of finger pointing going on and a complete lack of accountability. Maybe you want to wait for the investigation first, but you don't say you have 100%.
Yeah, accountability, like you guys basically raising right-wing terrorism to an all-time high during your fucking presidency, which will obviously lead to more and more unhinged fucking shooters doing unhinged fucking things. No, we got to concentrate on Biden saying the word bullseye. You get a job on Fox News. It's incredible.
That confidence. I mean, what would it take?
What a country of incredible opportunities, eh? America, brother.
For them not to have confidence in at least someone at the Secret Service.
But Katie, the push to push him out continues. While he sits there defiantly and says, I'm staying. Worst scenario possible for the DNC is time is running out. And nobody, the vice president would take the job, but nobody else would ever jump in at this point. With Donald Trump as powerful as it is, why would you go up there and just get bludgeoned? I
agree. They know. DNC knows they're fucking cooked, and now they're repositioning literally for 2030. That's it. Like, they know they're completely cooked. They're now repositioning to with the different lobby and interest groups that support both Dems and the RNC. Now they're probably taking steps to not be identified with the Biden administration as much as they potentially can. The classics, but it's saving grace time for sure. Right now in the DNC, for sure. You can't tell me it's not. They might be demons, as I say, but they're not fucking stupid, okay? They know they lost their shit.
And the thing is, the President of the United States is defiant, and there's a sense that nobody's telling him how bad the polling is.
Well, he says he's still on the horse.
Yeah.
I'm still, and got very angry.
You're going to get back on the horse. I'm on the horse.
Well, look, there was some talk over the weekend that because of what happened, the Democrats, the ones who were saying he had to go, are trying to pull back their efforts to get him out. Some people are still pushing forward with trying to do that, but I think it just highlights the cynical nature of what he's been trying to do over the past 24 hours.
Thank you, Mike Bishop. They did everything right, AJ. Shot at me for the 6 month. Thank you.
He's been trying to say that he's a unifying president. You know, we're all Americans. We're not enemies. He actually has a stake in this, in the sense that he is desperate to save his first term. He's desperate for another term, and he wants to save his candidacy.
Fucking Mac.
Hey, baby, I'm a rock star.
No, okay, no. Fucking Mac didn't want to do it. Thank you very much to all the subs. Let's go back to our regularly scheduled broadcasting. But seriously, thank you massively to Amira. Thank you very much. Never reached such high levels. And ain't nobody watching ads in chat, baby. Ain't nobody fucking watching ads with YugopnikTwitch, baby. Fucking nobody. We'll be the first community with like 100% subscribers, okay? 100% fucking subscribers. Nobody's fucking watching ads, okay? We will single-handedly cause Twitch to completely change its ad policy, okay?
Probably not. I think they're going to have to. If he doesn't want to go.
Tax-free Mac? Yeah, absolutely, dude. I got like a year and a half ago, I got my girlfriend's uncle who lives in the States to buy the Mac in the States because it's much cheaper there, to get it out of the box. And then smuggle it across the border as if it's not a new Mac that he bought, because otherwise he would have to register it, etc. So never pay tax on that shit. Fucking arrest me. Hello, tax authorities.
Child soldier.
Thank you very much, Pixel Cemetery, for the sub with Prime. It was always absolutely insane to me that almost everything, especially tech and cars in the United States, costs so much less than anywhere else. Well, it's the country with some of the highest income in the world, right? At least on paper, you know.
Not going. And he's not going, and Jill is not going either. So
Right, and
I don't think he's going anywhere.
If he's talking
another solution, if you live in a small country with a lot of borders, right? You go to the neighboring country. You buy something expensive, and you tell them when you're buying it at whatever, like superstore, tech store, etc., teaching you some new things, kids. Okay, how to save some fucking money. Okay, not just communist propaganda here. You tell the seller, I would like a tax write-off on this because I am going to be taking it over the border. Most big chains will then proceed to give you a piece of paper where after you pass the border, you show it. So there's two borders that you pass, right? Let's say you're going from Croatia to Serbia, right? And you bought something in Croatia and you're going into Serbia. You stop at the Croatian site and you tell them, hey, I would like to declare this thing that I've bought in Croatia because I would like a tax write-off. Here's a piece of paper from the people who sold it to me. They proceed to write, yes, this has been declared. Then you put it in your car and you fucking hide it. You fucking hide it, okay? You take it out of the box, throw out the box, whatever. And then you go to the Serbian side and you're like, nothing to declare. And then you pass, because the original idea is that then on the Serbian side, there would be like 15% tax, 20% tax, 25%, depending on the country-to-country relation, right? So you say nothing to declare, so they don't take any of your money. So a couple of weeks pass or whatever, you go visit Croatia again. You go to the same store or a special, like sometimes they have departments or whatever. You go there and you show the piece of paper that says, look, I paid those 15% at the border. I would like my tax back. And then they give you the 15%, 20% depending back. There you go. You learned something useful today, okay? 15 to 20% you can usually save depending on the inter-country legislation, etc. But this only works, again, if you are like close to a border or like live in a small country where it makes sense for you to drive over the border, etc. And 20% doesn't sound like much, but if you're buying $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 computer, it makes a lot of sense.
Talking about unity, it's hard to be the head of a party that is in the middle of a civil war about whether or not you should be the leader.
Yeah, you can't even unify.
When have you last done this? I have absolutely never done this. I'm just sharing information about how I heard some people do this. I've never, ever done that. Okay?
Unify your own parties can be difficult to unify the country, right? And it's just an interesting.
We do that in the U.S. with states. What? You have to declare between states? What, if I buy something in Texas and I go to Florida, I have to declare, and I'm from Florida, I have to declare it? No, you don't. Right? No. Yeah, that's Yeah, nope. Okay, thank you, chat. Got confused about America being a federation. You know? Okay. Chatter's lying to my goofy ass, non-American knowing ass. Okay.
Stiff shift in tone after
stupid ass, Balkan ass, no America understanding ass
of this president and his entire party, not only going after Donald Trump, but going after anybody who voted for him as a MAGA extremist, an existential threat to democracy. It's quite interesting that they're trying to switch the tone now as the president is drowning when it comes to his own party.
Katie, he's drowning. You got the former president. And I just got to get your reaction to the moment he walked in. And so many people were shocked at the moment because you see the bandage of a bullet that went through his ear, essentially, and they had to stitch it back together. And it looks like the former president was taken back.
Yes,
you
absolutely.
were there, Katie.
Yeah, I was in the arena, watched him walk in, and I'd never seen him like that. You know, we watch him all the time. He's one of the most televised presidents in the history of the country. And to see him walk out and to just have that emotion on his face. Clearly, he's been through so much over the past 6 years as he's entered politics, but over the past 48 hours, his life was on the line, and he knows that, and it was obviously a very humbling moment for him, and for him to walk into a crowd of people who are there to support him.
It wasn't expected to me that he was like kind of tearing up and shit. I thought he was gonna play the very like hard I am hard macho man who survived the very big gun shoot at face, but yeah.
After he barely escaped.
I swear he's going to be wearing the damn bandage until November for sure. For sure. But he fucked up for wearing the bandage during the RNC. He should have like just shown a bloodied, fucked up ear. That would have spoken to the masses a lot more, in my opinion. That's what I would do.
Death, I think, was a huge thing for him and a huge thing for the country.
Katie, you know what this reminds me of? That is a perfect match for the mood that Melania put in that letter.
Right.
You know, it's the family. He's a family person. Yet you think he's a political animal. He's a father, a grandfather.
Don't pitch me Trump as a family guy. Come on. Ain't nobody thinking that Trump is a fucking family guy.
He is a husband.
I mean, he literally is Peter Griffin, but I think they're talking about a different type of family guy.
And that's what this is about. And start revisiting why you have the animosity towards him, because he's a human being. And that 20-year-old monster, her words, does not understand that.
Well, to that point, Katie, I mean, I think one thing that we learned is that the former president can still bleed, too.
Of course.
I mean, we saw the visual representation of that, and there had been a time where the media act like he wasn't a human.
Yeah. Well, I also noticed that his Secret Service detail was all men and men as tall as he was. So they took notes after what happened on Saturday.
I did not notice it.
Yes.
That was something that was a noticeable change. But yes, he's a human being, and he acknowledged.
The noticeable change is that they removed that one woman we all saw. We all know that Donald J. Trump was actually successfully shot because the woman was present. I never saw that one coming. Who the fuck let the goddamn women in the Secret Service, brother? You let one woman in the Secret Service and the president almost gets fucking shot. Who even knows if the goddamn woman did not collaborate with the communist shooter? For we all know the women's are always more likely to be progressive, and therefore all the women's must want our president to do the death. What's with all the LARP about Barron Trump being Paul Atreides and joining the Free Men? What do you mean LARP? What the fuck do you mean LARP? Okay? He is Paul Atreides. He is the gateway towards finally having a Slavic man to overtake the United States. We have spent decades grooming Melania to groom Trump into attempting to be president. Okay? So that we can build the base for this half Balkan child, their child, to one day take the seat as the first American Balkan emperor. This is the long game that we have always played. Okay? Baron Al-Gaib. Okay? Hajduk Baron. And as our great ancestors had defeated the Ottomans by not only fighting them on the fields of battle, but through shrewd negotiation and infiltration of the Ottoman state itself at high key positions. The Balkan mind shall reinstate Yugoslavia through Baron Al-Ghaib by turning him into the first American emperor. The first thing he, as the first American Balkan emperor, shall do is reinstate Yugoslavia as it was before 1989. So, do not shit on our great long-term plan. Ever. Again. That will... From this point, that's a bannable offense. You understand me? Another thing that is a bannable offense, but a bannable offense from living life the way you should, is having to watch ads. Thankfully, there is a very good solution for that here on Twitch, unlike anywhere else. And that is $6 a month or free through Prime, or gifting it to somebody less privileged than you. Do that and have an adless experience. The ad will otherwise play in 1 minute and 20 seconds. Thank you kindly.
Acknowledged, of course, before he
Balkanize US, unite Balkans. That is the future nobody was expecting.
to that rally on Saturday morning that he's choosing a vice president because God forbid.
50% of all $6 will go to our future Al-Ghaib. I even forgot his name. Baron Al-Ghaib, okay? To fund our infiltration mission into the United States of America.
If something were to happen, they need to take over.
And RFK's got Secret Service too now.
Right, things are changing.
Yes, that was great. He's been calling for it. They finally gave it to him, gave him the detail. I saw on social media, I don't remember if Ivanka posted it or if someone else used a picture of her children, but it said, to these 3 children, he's just a grandfather.
That's right. Right, he's a human being. So we saw that last night.
Katie, thank you
He's
very
just
much.
a human being, but the goddamn woman that was in the security services, that goddamn woman, not so much, brother. Oh my God, you want to cringe with Bill Mayer? At this 3 days ago, I'm not fucking watching that ancient shit. Who sent me this shit? Wait. Come on, open.
As a running mate for
Donald Trump's running mate J.D. Vance has a rich history of remarks about former president, and she made a compilation, I guess.
Donald Trump, it is unavoidable to note that his record of remarks about Trump is one that I think could reasonably be described as rich.
I'm a never Trump guy. I never...
Thank you very much, Master Spike. My name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. I hate Republicans. I hate Trump. And guess what? You got the wrong guy. Immediate classic.
Liked him. It makes you...
Also, good job, all great child soldiers of YugopnikTwitch and the great Gunnar Army of Israel for the second day in a row hitting 1,000 consecutive viewers, even for a couple of seconds. My heart warms, for this is the goal of my life. It is not the establishment of communism. It is not a personal feeling of success through my family, relationships, and friendships. It is 1,000 people writing and screaming in chat as I talk about politics. So thank you very much once again.
Makes you think that at a fundamental level, this is sort of a he said, she said, right? And at the end of the day, do you believe Donald Trump, who always tells the truth? Just kidding. Or do you believe that woman on that tape?
I cannot stand Trump because I think he's a fraud. Well, I think he's a total fraud that is exploiting these people, who is a total fraud.
Like you said, I agree with you on Trump because I don't think that he's the person. I don't think he actually cares about folks.
So as a conservative who thinks that Trump does not have the answers and isn't qualified to be president, what are you going to do this election, if you don't mind saying?
My current plan is to vote either third party, or as I joke to my wife, I might write in my dog, because that's about as good as it seems. But, you know, I think there's a chance, if I feel like Trump has a really good chance of winning, that I might have to hold my nose and vote for Hillary Clinton. Ultimately, I think I'll probably vote third party. I might vote for this new guy who I really like, Evan McMullen, who I actually met the other day. But I think that I'm going to vote third party because I can't stomach Trump. I think that he's noxious and is leading the white working class to a very dark place.
As we've learned previously, to repeat ourselves for the 750th fucking time, our boy.
That's right. Joe Biden.
The evil
snapping.
the evil JT running for the vice presidential office of the United States of America is just a classic white working class traitor, and should be treated as nothing less and nothing more, which fits incredibly well with the wider Trump appeal towards struggling working class white men and women who unfortunately do not have the level of class consciousness to understand where their actual problems come from, which are, as we all know, systematic. So instead, he gives them the problem of mass immigration, of trans women in toilets, etc., and allows himself to rise through what we collectively call the complete shit. What the fuck? Hi, Hugo. What? What happened? What the fuck? You figure, what the fuck did you do? You fucked up my chat, man. Oh, yeah. Yeah, anyway. Do we have anything else? Fox News? Because I'll soon have to be closing down, unfortunately, guys, even though I had a brilliant time today, as I always do with you, you beautiful sons of my bitch, because I need to record the deprogram podcasto. So I will be recording the deprogram in around 30 minutes, and I will need to prepare always, as I always do, because as we all know, we are incredibly scripted over at that show. That I'm being ironic as shit. Anyways, thank you very much for all who have joined. Thank you for hitting such a high peak here of viewership. It is a very nice. Anyways, if you want to know when I stream and what I do, check me out on YouTube at Yugopnik. Check me out on Discord by joining the Discord channel by writing !Discord. We have a very big, beautiful, chunky orange boy community over there. And if you're here and you have not clicked the follow button, it literally costs you nothing. So please do proceed to do so that you don't miss when I come on here and do what I do best, which is spread a little bit of class consciousness, whip out my dick, and piss in the mouth of many a chud. Thank you, as always, very, 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 very much to all my beautiful subscribers and all of the people sending me bits. Without you, none of this would be even close to possible. And Jesus Christ, the Mira Links just keeps being a silent, beautiful oiler here. Thank you for the 1,000 bits again. Fucking legend, okay? Make sure you join the Discord channel. There you will get to know me. You will be able to refer whatever type of content, video, or event you would like me to cover. Okay, there's a specific segment there as well, and I usually try to stream, because I know a lot of you guys are over from Hassan's community, which I very much respect and love. I usually stream before he streams. So if you ever want to listen to someone with a non-American bias before your favorite Turkish boy enters chat, I think I'm a pretty decent fucking solution. And if you ever want to watch any of the shit that we cover here on stream because you missed the stream, check out Yugopnik Live on YouTube. That is Yugopnik Live on YouTube. Also Yugopnik on Instagram, right? But anyways, thank you very, very much for all my beautiful mods, without whom none of this would be possible. I'm very proud of the community we are building up here, and I think we will continue to do so. I will be streaming most likely from Greece. Yes, this rich communist is going to Greece, which is literally 4 or 5 hours drive from where I live, so it's not that expensive for me, right? Thank you very much, Moog MT, for the sub with Prime as well. Welcome, my beautiful child soldier. So I'll be streaming from there in a couple of days. I can't promise when. I believe in 2 days or 3. I will post on Discord. I will post on Instagram. I will post absolutely everywhere. Now it is a moment to decide who do we raid with this actual nice chunky size on this good day. And I think we should raid our very good British comrade who does brilliant coverage both of British politics, because we're all tired of American politics, but also genuine general class consciousness spreading, etc., etc. So again, if you haven't clicked that follow button, now is the moment to do so. Go say hi to No Justice. Make sure she knows you're coming from more fucking stream, baby. And I will be seeing you very soon. Again, everybody from Hassan's community, if you want a place that you will feel welcome at before Hassan starts streaming, you're always very, very welcome here. Thank you. Love you. Stay red. And don't be dead. That was cringe.